Crimes are baked in every show. Mysteries rise and truth unfolding. Ready, set, it's time to go. We say it's time to go. Whistling clues, battering news. Makes the story solving the lies. In this kitchen, secrets are broken. With a spark in our eyes. In the broken baker's kitchen. The secrets crumble like sunrise. We'll sift through clues to find the news. With a spark in our eyes. The broken rise. Broken rise. Welcome to the broken baker. Get ready. Let's go.
I'm Jimmy. How y'all doing?
The most important people in this case that everybody seems to have forgotten in this room is the jury. So we're going to take a 15-minute break and both sides take a pregnant pause and think about the jury.
I would just like to say, you men with mustache, I don't know how you deal with this. I've got something on my lip. I'm like, oh, what is wrong here?
I have not
But
been
I
this
feel very, very
strangely
smart when I
sexual
do
aroused in many years.
this is staying on for about 2 more minutes because this thing is, like I said, props to you dudes because I have no idea how you do this. This is like, you can't even breathe through your nose holes. How do you do this? I finally understand you have no male privilege. This is a pain in the behind.
It is kind of annoying sometimes, but again, you'll fix. I don't understand vices with that big bushy mustache. I if I can feel it on my nose or on my lip, I'll trim the heck out of it. I keep it
I
short
mean,
because you get ingrown hair, and it's
5-year-old me really wanted a, Yosemite Sam mustache. So when I was putting people on train tracks, I could, roll it. I may have been my mom's oddest child.
well, that's good to be odd. X did I bet you I didn't see it because she was live when I woke up this morning, and then I had been reading it, and I thought I'm gonna do a live, and I know she had the glare on. I bet you they were yelling just as much as I was. It's anyone paying taxes this year in Massachusetts should write on the back of the check, "Can we get a new DA?"
I wonder what would happen if a bunch of people just didn't pay their taxes there, like
They would go to
just
prison.
all of the town. Well,
They
I
would go to
know.
prison. That's the funny thing. I love those people who say, "Well, if we just all stop paying taxes, they can get us all." Yeah, they can. They'll just withhold your money in the bank. It's kind of like the state has all the power.
This is really, breaking my entire, hope for the future.
That's if you're. What if you write, I don't represent the entity known as Mo.
I have
And
a fake
please don't
mustache
say-
on. I am Rusty Shackelford, damn it. The greatest alias ever. Publicly buzzed. I wanted to see if I felt smarter when I did one of these things, but y'all men, I don't know how you deal with it. Okay, this is coming off. Oh.
Well, it's actually, if you're thinking, I don't have long beard because again I get a lot of ingrown hairs in my beard, so I have it at a very short length. But when I can kind of get like a centimeter or something, and just sitting there doing this, you get very used to doing it. If I was Valhalla, I would just be stroking my beard all day long. He's stroking something else. His goats.
Well, at least you didn't say kids, because that could have been taken all the wrong ways.
Yeah. Hej Vejnesår. Håber, at din øl den smagte godt. We need a new governor. Yeah, you need a. It's the public sector that's something's wrong. They have, like I put on Carrie. She put up a post about why would you get in bed with Krusty? Well, she has 4 kids. Only 2 of them live with her, but it's because they have been effing around and not finding out. It took them to pee off the wrong person at the right time, who didn't back down, who didn't surrender. And all of this because, and I know people are tired about hearing about the case, imagine if Karen Reed had accepted some kind of stupid plea deal and said, okay, I'll be railroaded so I don't go broke. No, she said, I'll fight this. Without her and Turtle Boy, everyone in Massachusetts would go on. Sandra Birchmore would have been a number, page 6 notice in the upper right corner. Levy would probably never ever have looked at it. But without Karen Reed, without Turtle Boy, all of this institutionalized corruption would never have been found out.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, and then unfortunately and sadly for the family, I don't want to. The trooper candidate that passed away in the academy,
Garcia,
yeah, I think that was definitely, people are done with the corruption.
yeah. And the funny thing is, he passed away, what, now 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago? He's already put in the ground and no one talks about it. His class graduated last Friday. What did they do when people talked to them? They did this to the reporters. His
Well, I see they learned
graduation
how to
class,
be a-holes.
you can't be a trooper in the MSP if you have, I can't say that because some of them might be
soul.
good people. I was trying not to go there, but I am
Oh,
of the
sorry.
belief that when you enter the academy, there will be a high priest of chaos tattooing an 8-pointed star on your chest and say, choose. Are you going with jeans? Are you going with what deity are you going with? Because you can't stay with the one you had before. You will sell your soul.
And what an incredible sad thing for the family. I mean, it's going to be forgotten, and they're going to still be fighting for justice, and they're going to say, "Oh, well, it was a training accident," because everyone gets beat to the ever living snot out during a training exercise.
Which they don't do. I was on the stream talking about how we trained. Yes, someone broke an arm, someone got banged up a little bit, but you didn't kill someone. It's a trooper or a trooper cadet with the MSP called Garcia, who allegedly was in a boxing match and passed away. The injuries to him sounded more like he had been curb stomped. There was rumors about hazing rituals. There was rumors about racial undertones, but nothing has come out in 2 weeks now. The DA's office, who loved him, he was a witness advocate. They loved him. They had to turn it over to another department because they were conflicted out. We haven't heard anything about them turning it over to someone else.
Like the Canton police were conflicted out, but they still helped on most of the interrogations and everything else.
Yeah. Enrique Garcia Delgado, exactly.
Canton must have different meanings for words.
Did Sarah put Owens in that box? No, it's a standby box. If she gets mad enough, the judge has given her one try each day to stuff one of her lawyers into it, just to keep her. She didn't get her snacks, but she got a lawyer box So she can't build a fort with it, but she can try and stuff one of her lawyers into the box. It's a concession the judge made because Sarah sat there and said, if I can't put on the cheese bra, I can't have my snacks. What can I do? And she was looking at him funny and writing Samsonite, Samsonite, Samsonite on her paper. So he was a little afraid.
And thank you for the super chat. I am doing pretty good. I love the eyebrows, the mustache, not so much. Gonna have to trim it. My face isn't big enough. I think it was actually made for a man to wear. I know, shocking.
I'm pretty sure I would be called racial insensitive. Iris have given me the Mexican pass, so I could. Next Friday there's the Friday night live Halloween special. Last year I was dressed out as Jamie, and Iris have given me a Mexican pass, so I can wear a sombrero. But I'm still sure YouTube would hate me for it. Will there be a suitcase? We both started talking.
If it was, oh, I'm sorry. If the last link was in the other chat, I don't have it anymore. If you want to send it to me, I will pin it though. Because, oh.
Marissa is Marissa. You have to figure out your name isn't Marissa.
I know. I'll go back to what I used in a teen. Just spell my name backwards, but we're not 2 hours in.
Oh, now I get it.
I thought that was insanely funny as a teen. My mom was not. My mom was not impressed. Put it on my name tag at work.
Katie Russo, Brian Boone is in the hallway waiting to testify. So that'll be fun.
Should be.
Massachusetts AG appointed David Meyer to do independent investigation in the Enrique case September 23rd. That can't be right because he didn't pass away that early. Did he? Did he? Is it already that long ago? Is it 3 weeks ago already? Funny, I saw the press conference when they said I can't do anything, but I will be waiting with. Well, I won't be holding my breath waiting for him to find out who did it, because again,
Dear God, Sarah Boone in the Kubrick angle. I've never been more frightened in my life.
Oh, she's looking at Blondie and saying, "Hey, when this is done, do you want to go hang on the beach or something? I know a place where we can get Magnum wine." Okay, David Meyer hired as an independent investigator in Enrico Delgado Garcia. Thank you, Peter A. And and I think even if you could get the link through EU blocks it because of the geolog. Stupid stuff. We can't see news from America because you have to accredit it in a certain way, or else the European Union thinks we are too stupid to read the news. Yeah, her hair looks a little
I
flat.
have been at Walmart.
Yeah, let's do like that time where someone was pulling Trump's hair to show it wasn't a toupee. Just go in there and say, "Oh," with the sound. Oh my! I think these must be some kind of interns or something.
I love that he has his own entourage. Just kind of walks in like a gangster.
I think some judge interns or something. Do they do that in the US? We do that when
I think
someone.
those are his clerks too.
They're clerks. But in Denmark, we are not.
We're back on the record. State of Florida versus Sarah Boone, 2020 CF 2603.
They are just they are lawyers, and then they apply to be judges, and then they have to do like an internship with different judges to see how is a court run. So they follow them around. It's fun sometimes to have them in there, and they come up and have to say what they think about what we do.
Can I get appearances for counsel for the record, starting with counsel for the state?
Dave Kester on behalf of the state. William J. for the state.
Defense.
James Owens for Sarah Boone.
Tony Henderson for Sarah Boone. Kevin Beckham, yeah, Sarah Boone.
Ms. Boone is seated at counsel's table wearing the same black suit and pink blouse from this morning. State, anything we need to address before we bring back in our panel?
Can we get the evidence projection system up and can we test it before we
Yes.
go live?
Yes, sir.
You don't do that. No, but you elect your judges, right?
Yes.
If you want to test it out, Mr. J.
Call 1 at 12:59 p.m. with a GMT offset of -300 minutes. Call on month.
Yeah, that's not going to be annoying with two microphones picking that up. Lawyers apply to be judges and have to train for some years. Yeah, in Denmark they have a different title and then they become a judge. I don't know what you would call it, but they are called judge something, and then they become judges when they get a position in a courtroom. We had a
Call 1 at 12:59 p.m. with a GMT offset of -300 minutes.
we had a loner judge for my last trial because we
guys.
apparently.
That is the best I can do,
Oh.
sir.
I will be back. I will be chatting when I get to the line of waiting in peril for the boys, and then I will be back as soon as I get them. So about 3, hopefully. I get there early, leave early. So thank you guys for hanging in there. And Baker will pull up any chats or super chats. Thank you so much. I will be right back.
Bye.
Hasta la taco. We'll take good care of Mo's chat and my chat. Please, while we're
all right.
waiting,
Anything else, state, we need to address?
go over and show Mo a little love.
Defense.
No, sir.
Okay. All right. Just in the spirit of full disclosure, there are some persons behind me to my right and my left. I run the mock trial program at Barry University School of Law here in town, and these are some of my students as a member of that program, so they're here just simply to observe. So
Oh,
pay no mind or attention to them. With that, are we ready to bring in our jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Look at
All right, let's
that.
stand and bring in our panel.
Now you know.
how about my drink?
Jury entering.
Hi. Probably to Mo. Yeah, I've heard that about Gabby. She gets around. Be nice, AJ. Don't spread those rumors.
Hey, do you recognize our jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, do you recognize our jury? All right, y'all can be seated. Thank you. Members of the jury, good afternoon. I hope you enjoyed your lunch. If you could, again, by a show of hands, confirm that you complied with the court's instructions that we gave prior to the break. Record reflect all jurors' hands have been raised. With that, the state is going to continue with their evidence presentation this afternoon. State, you may call your next witness.
State will call Brian Boone.
Brian Boone.
Boone. Oh boy. Aw, Mo's gonna miss Brian Boone.
Mr. Boone, raise your right hand and be sworn, please. You swear to affirm the testimony you give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes. Sir, good afternoon. You could be seated. After seated, if you could please state and spell your name for the record for us.
Brian Boone, BRIAN BOONE.
Thank you, sir. You may inquire.
Okay, I made fun of
He just
Mr.
looks a
Torres,
lot different.
who couldn't remember how many siblings he had. Brian can't spell his name.
I don't think I've ever really seen him in live and like that.
He's in the
So
body
it's-
cam video. You only see like because he's
Yeah.
taller than the officer. So it's yeah.
Good afternoon.
That's not
sir.
what I expected.
Good afternoon.
He's got a
Can
great
you tell
career.
us how it is that you know the defendant?
I dated her for quite a while, and then we eventually got married.
Drink.
When you say you dated her for quite a while, how long are we talking?
I met her in the late 90s, and I believe it was around 2005 when we got married.
Did you have any children as a result of your marriage with the defendant?
Yes, we had one son.
And how old is that son?
He is currently getting ready to turn 14.
Did your marriage with the defendant last?
No, it did not.
And approximately when was it that you separated and began proceedings for divorce?
Probably 2017, I'm thinking maybe.
And at that time, when was your divorce actually finalized?
Maybe it was 2006. I think the divorce was 2017. I believe.
And after your
That's a man that's happy he got away.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
Yeah,
He's just done with it.
yeah. Can I just do my testimony today and then hasta la taco to this woman?
Yep.
Why can we not even out the sound in this courtroom? What?
Even out the sound. Yeah, because it's like now it's like super loud, and before we could barely hear.
Oh.
It's just like, can we just
It's
get?
because he's using the microphone. They weren't using the microphone.
Yeah.
your divorce, what was your custody arrangement with your son that you had in common with the defendant?
She was supposed to have him on Mondays and Tuesdays. I would have him Wednesday, Thursdays, and then we'd alternate Friday through Sundays every other week.
So 1 week you would have 5 days with your son, and another week she would have 5 days with him.
Correct.
And was this still the same custody arrangement in February of 2020?
Yes.
And in
Like I said, I think I said it yesterday. Thank God this dad seems like a stable, good, caring parent.
Yeah.
And he has moved the kids closer to his parents so he can get some semblance of a family life where he's not being tossed around by a mom who's too drunk to take care of him.
February of 2020, did you have, do you recall the events that occurred, I guess, first on the late evening of February 23rd, 2020?
On that evening,
Yes.
well, apparently Sarah called me at one point during the night.
Do you recall about what time?
Yes, he has testified to that in the interview that she came at him when she got drunk.
She called you?
I think it was 11 something.
When you answered the phone, how did Sarah sound on the phone?
She sounded like she had been drinking, was pretty drunk.
Were you able to understand what the defendant was saying?
Somewhat, but she woke me up. I had work the next day. I was asleep when she called. She's done this before, calling me late at night, and generally I kind of just try to ignore it, so I wasn't really paying attention.
Who was she living with at the time?
George Torres.
When she called you late that evening, could you hear George in the background at all?
Not that I remember, no.
Did you pay much attention to this phone call?
No.
Now, the following morning, on February 24th, 2020, did you begin to call the defendant?
Yes, I did.
And approximately what time did you begin to call the defendant?
I think it was like 11 o'clock or something.
And why was it that you were calling her?
Well, it was going to be Monday. I had him on Sunday and dropped him off at school, and I was calling to trying to find out if she was going to be actually picking him up that day.
Why would you have a question about whether or not she was picking him up?
She wasn't generally very good about actually getting him on the day she was supposed to.
So it was not uncommon for you to have to remind her to pick him up or to make sure that she was going to pick him up?
Well, I mean, remind or just find out if she was going to, or if she was just going to give him over to me as what happened.
Do you remember at what time on February 24th you actually got in touch with the defendant?
I think it was like 12:30 or something.
And when you actually got in touch with her, what did she tell you on the phone?
That George was dead, and if I would come over.
Did she say what happened to him?
Could you imagine? Could you imagine?
Sadly, yes, I could imagine her say,
No.
George, come over.
No, just like your ex-wife calling you and like, my boyfriend's dead. Come over here. You're like, nah, no.
Yeah, I would say, are the kids with you? They're not? Good. Dial 112 and don't call me again.
Yeah.
I don't remember if she told me then on the phone or when I got there, but she told me they had been playing hide and seek and that she fell asleep.
What did you advise her to do?
She loves that story.
I told her she needed to call 911 and that I would come over as soon as I could.
And this is on your first phone call here at approximately 12:30.
Yes.
On 2/24/2020.
Yes.
Did she call you again while you were en route to her residence?
She did. She called to find out if I was still going to be coming over.
And when you spoke with her while you were en route, what, if anything, did you advise her?
I told her she needed to call 911 and told her I was on my way, but she needed to get somebody over there.
How long did it take you to arrive at her residence?
From the first phone call, or?
Yes, from the first one.
Well, I mean, I live a minute or two drive away, but I had to get my puppy. We had just gotten a puppy recently. I had to get him in his crate and stuff like that and put something on because I was working from home. And total time, maybe 10 minutes.
When you arrived at her apartment. Tell us
I had the same with my nephew. He's 10. He said, "How can you do it when you know where he is?"
what she told you when you arrived.
I mean, George was dead, and once again, I don't remember if she told me now or before that they had been playing hide and seek and she fell asleep. But I, at that time, told her again she needed to get 911 called to get somebody over there.
Had she called 911 at this point?
No, she had not.
So you've advised her now 3 times to call 911.
Yes.
Did you go inside of her apartment?
I walked in the front door into the little tiled area, like entranceway thing.
What, if anything, did you observe when you made it to that point?
Looking into the living room, I could see like the end of his feet and maybe a little bit of some legs that were kind of coming out around the backside of the kitchen area.
Did you continue to go into the apartment?
No.
Where did you go?
Sarah told me she was going to call 911 and go outside and have a cigarette and a drink and asked me to come out there with her. And I told her that I didn't.
What, if any, reason are we having this trial? First, she didn't call 911 in the 10 minutes it took him to get over there. And then she's saying, "Hey, Mama's just going to pop out for a little sick and a little drinky poo. Mama needs a little study, liquid nerve. So yeah. You want to come hang? What are those feet on the floor?" Shh. Mama just needs a little drinky poo, and then we call police, okay?
Do you want to come out back and have a drink before I call 911? It's my dead boyfriend's in the living room. Jeez, oh Pete.
Yeah, I just saw his feet. Well, I need a little drinky poo.
Really feel comfortable being inside, and I went out front and got in my car and waited for people to show up.
Did you witness the defendant call 911?
I think I was in there when she dialed it and first got somebody on the phone, but I wasn't there for the whole conversation. No, I was outside.
Did you stay there at the scene while police arrived?
Yes, I was there. I was part of it. I knew I'd have to talk to somebody, so.
Did you talk with law enforcement?
I did.
Your Honor, I have no further questions at this time.
Thank you. Any cross-examination?
Judge, we want to reserve our questions for when we call in our case.
Okay. All right, sir. You're subject to recall.
So they won't ask questions of him now because they are probably going to ask to treat him like a hostile witness. They talked about this yesterday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just as long as he remains under subpoena.
My understanding is subject to recall.
He just said you're subject to recall as long as he stays under subpoena.
That's what that means.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Well, Sue, you would know
State,
why he
you may
was
call your
there.
next witness.
Your Honor, may we approach a moment?
Yes.
It's so sad Iris isn't here because I bet you if a drunk ex called her or if an ex called her and said my girlfriend's dead, she would say, "I know."
Not for any of her exes.
No, it'll probably be the ex's girlfriend calling and say, "He's dead." Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's funny. And
Did you like the cardboard trick I learned when I was in Wisconsin?
Members of the jury, we'd appreciate your patience for a few moments while the state attaches a Bluetooth speaker so that they may publish some evidence that's been received so far. Mr. J, whenever you're ready, sir. You may do so.
Probably the one who unalived him.
I mean, Marissa's
Well,
right. It's not like he's going anywhere.
but he would still only be. They could only ask him about what was asked on the direct. That's why they want him back for cross. They wouldn't find the body. Who's that? Yeah. Have you seen him? Never heard about him. By the way, don't go digging in the backyard for the next couple of months.
Yeah. Leave that area alone.
300 minutes. Call on Monday, February 24th, 2020.
911, what is the location of your emergency? 4748 Brent Court, apartment 3. 4748, what's the street name? Brent, F-R-A-N-T-D. And the appointment number? 30. Is this a police or medical? My boyfriend is dead. Okay, send a line for the flight appointment, will not hang up.
We're gonna get all the audio.
That's good. No, please don't be. 4748 Brent Lane, apartment 3, Brent Court. Brent Court? Yes.
Okay, is this near Mackenzie Drive?
I don't know where that is.
Okay, right.
It's still with my apartment.
Okay, 4748 Brent, correct?
Correct.
All right, correct. Now tell me exactly what happened there.
My boyfriend and I were playing last night, and I said in the case we were playing, and but kind of high speed kind of thing. So I fell asleep, and I woke up, and he was dead in the case. So I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened.
Right, okay, what's your apartment number?
3.
Apartment 3?
Yeah, it's like he had like blood coming out of his
She didn't eat much. She's more of a drinking type.
mouth, and I don't know like he had like an aneurysm on what happened.
Right, okay, all right, okay, this is beginning of 15. All right, okay. Okay,
Right now?
okay, 407, man, this is we're on our way up there. You're 407-716-8684. Okay, you hanging from somewhere or what, man?
No, I pulled him out of the suitcase. I tried giving him CPR.
Okay, so you was in a suitcase?
Yes, and I fell asleep.
Okay, how old is he working there? 42-year-old man. All right. Okay, we're setting up on the sheriff's office over there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. All right, listen to me. Okay, that you need to confirm this. All right, I need to confirm this. Is he awake at all? Is he conscious at all?
No, he's purple.
Is he breathing?
No,
All right. I need to get him on the floor, back his back for you, okay?
I did. I tried giving him CPR.
All right.
At what point did she then try and give her CPR? The 10 minutes Brian wasn't there, or when she was having her ciggy smoke break?
Yeah, I don't know. She's lying.
You know how it is when waking up the next morning after a bender, you eat that pizza or boyfriend leftovers. Yeah, if it's still lukewarm, you'll have a nipple.
Oh my
I
God.
tried giving him CPR.
Don't you dare.
Nothing happened. He's purple.
Okay, listen, he's in the refrigerator. I need you to get it for me, okay?
I don't have
Will you be available?
No.
All right, you right by him now?
I'm sorry?
Are you right by him now?
Yes.
Okay, let me try this. Okay, man, listen, so this is he cold and stiff?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it's not necessarily cold, but it's good. And
Right, okay. All right, listen, listen, I want you to lay him flat his back for me on the floor.
I did.
Remove the pillows, okay?
Yes, I did.
All right, okay, wait.
He's stiff and he's purple.
Right, okay, listen, okay, man, that's fine. We're still going to put compression to him, okay? All right? If you look your hand on his breastbone, right in center of the chest, right between the nipples.
Yes.
Put your hands up on that hand.
Ready, I'm telling you. Just like that, you can tell.
Okay.
Don't read the CC that just at between the nipples.
Okay, listen to me. All right, I want you to play the heel of your hand. Okay, right between his chest, right between his breastbones. Put your other hands up on that hand. We want to pump his chest really hard and fast. Go to it twice per second.
Okay, you got it.
Okay, no, just keep on pumping. That's all you need to do for me. Keep on pumping his chest for me. I don't need you to stop and talk or anything. I just want you to count out loud for me, okay?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. But this is 19.
Okay, man, just keep on pumping his chest. That's all you need to do for me, okay?
She doesn't perform CPR.
Okay, man, they're trying to get fast as they can. Okay, don't stop and say hurry up. Just keep on pumping and counting. Okay. All right, just keep pumping the chest. Count out, let me count with you.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 27, 28, 29, 30.
It's at 1.25 here. You're not behind.
Okay, man, just give me your back again, okay?
He's stiff and he's purple.
Okay, please open his chest for me, ma'am.
I'm still doing it, okay? Still doing it. Still doing it.
Right, okay, that's fine. Did you do
Actually, after 12 hours, wouldn't rigor have started to go away again?
I
think
mean,
it would.
you are an expert. So
I am one of the few recognized experts in the shake the arm methods.
shake those arms.
All right, they're getting as fast as they can. I'll always the shirts off the also, okay? Keep on pumping, man. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3.
He's yelling at
1,
Brian.
2, 3, 4. Keep on pumping for me, man.
I'm doing it, okay? We're playing hide and seek.
All right, I understand. All right, just keep on pumping for me, okay? Okay.
He's hurting.
Right, okay.
Horrible. This is horrific. What's happening?
I love that she's absolutely not doing any of the CPR she claims she's doing. She's trying to get Brian in there to kind of fix this situation. That's why she's yelling at him. She don't give two shit about George. She is
Well, 'cause
just in it for Sarah.
she finally got, like in a situation that she cannot get out of. And,
Yeah.
she's freaking out for sure.
Yes, we talked about it when we heard it all about the cracked chest plate, and you would be really putting your force into it, especially if you don't know how to do it. I bet you they couldn't even find a slight crack in one of his chest bones if they looked for it. And she's just trying to get Brian in there to fix everything because it wasn't my fault. It must be someone else, probably Brian's fault.
Mhm.
Like, what happened?
Okay, man, keep on pumping the chest, okay?
Hear that.
They're in the parking lot. They should be up there shortly, okay?
I was holding my dad when the doctor.
I'm still doing it, okay?
Right, okay, good. Keep on
I also
the you said?
speak at a doctor.
We were playing hide and seek last night. I fell asleep. I think they're here.
Right, just keep on pumping the chest until they get over,
I
okay?
am.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay, come in. Where's my puppy now?
Let them take over for you, okay?
He just wants to get that Dr. Pepper and get a little.
What was the last time anybody saw him? The last night. We were playing hide and seek. He was the potato. Okay. Unfortunately, he's been down too long. Hello, ma'am? So,
And so where they are, obviously.
No, not that. Hello?
Hey, man, it's not going to take care of you, okay? That's all we'll see there.
All right. Oh, ma'am, is still there? Hello? Contact 407-716-8684, reference to mobile. 1308.
Call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. 4.
Yeah, into a smell of old wine and fresh Dr. Vodka.
Ugh.
We're ready to continue with presentation witnesses.
Yes, sir. You may call your next witness.
State we call Abraham Moreno.
Sir, good afternoon. Could you state and spell your name for the record for us?
Abraham, Abraham, last name is Moreno, Moreno.
Thank you, sir. You may be seated. Mr. Castro, you may inquire.
That's the. Isn't that the building guy?
Mhm.
No, you weren't
Good
here.
afternoon,
That's right.
sir.
Good afternoon.
You don't stream
Tell
this
us,
anymore.
what do you do for a living?
I'm a maintenance supervisor for apartment complexes.
There you go.
Look at
Is
the
that
big
what your
brains on
position was
Baker.
back in February of 2020?
Yes, it was.
And what apartment complex?
Tealwood Park Apartments,
And how long did you work for Tealwood Park Apartments?
about 2 years.
And tell us, what were some of your duties in your position there with Tealwood Park?
Daily, I cleaned the grounds, walked the property, answered maintenance calls, did
No, they had someone verify the 911 call as the correct one, and that's why they could play it.
emergencies, dealt with vendors.
Did you become familiar with the residents there at the apartment complex?
Yes,
Did you have occasion to meet the defendant in this case and also a George Torres?
yes.
Let me turn your attention to February 24th of 2020. Do you recall?
Thank you so much, Seagirl765, for 5 Mo in the deep end memberships. I can't see who gets them on my channel, but each of those 5 are very, very appreciative, and so is Mo. And Jamie. Well, Jamie's not that
Yeah.
appreciative. She's more like, meh. But
I love it all. Go Mo, go Baker. Well, Baker's meh. I don't watch the show.
All that date.
Yes,
And on that date, did you have occasion to come in contact with the defendant in this case?
yes, I did.
And tell us, what was the circumstances in which you came into contact with her on February 24th, 2020?
I was called by the manager and the assistant manager to come to her unit. I believe she was already sitting outside at that time.
And when she was sitting outside of her unit, what, if anything, did you observe about her and about the unit?
The police was there. Her ex-husband was present. She was sitting outside, and that's when she decided she wanted to talk to me and the managers.
And what did she tell you?
That she's confused. She's not exactly sure what happened. She pointed out that she recalls that they were playing a game of hide and seek. There was an instance where you're going to teach him a lesson, and then she just doesn't recall anything else until the next morning.
Did she say she fell asleep?
Yes, she did.
Did she say things got out of hand?
I don't really recall that part, but I do recall her stating that they were playing their game and that George went into a suitcase, and I didn't ask any questions. I just let her talk for herself
How long was this conversation?
for about 4 or 5 minutes.
Your Honor, I have no further questions at this time.
Any cross-examination?
Yes, sir.
You may inquire, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
This conversation that you had with Miss Boone,
Yes.
that took place on the 24th. Is that correct?
Yes.
And who else was present at the time that the conversation was taking place?
Standing right next to me would have been Melissa Sexton and Eugene Harris, as well as the officer who was in front of the door.
Okay. So there was a law enforcement officer there that day, is that correct?
Yes.
All right. Now, on the 24th is when you said that Miss Boone made this statement to you. Is that correct?
Yes.
That they were playing hide and seek?
Yes.
And what else did she say happened?
She had told me they were playing hide and seek. They had drank. She was trying to teach him a lesson, and that was that. She went upstairs. She went to sleep. She woke up. She doesn't know what happened.
Okay. So that was on the 24th?
Yes.
All right. On the 26th, were you not interviewed by law enforcement?
Yes.
Okay.
I may have my days wrong, but it all happened on the same day.
All right. The 24th, do you remember 2 days later that a Detective Scott Lowen conducted an interview with you at 4704 Lucier Court, Winter Park, Florida? You remember that interview?
Yes.
So that was 2 days later. Is that correct?
I would assume so.
Yes. All right. So when he interviewed you 2 days later, did you tell him about this statement that Ms. Boone made to you that you just told this jury in court?
I did mention it to him.
You did mention it to him?
I mentioned to them that we did have a conversation.
Did you tell him the content of the conversation?
I may not have told him the whole content, but I did tell him we had a conversation.
All right. Well, what did you tell him? What content did you tell him on the 26th?
That they were playing hide and seek, that she was confused. She doesn't know what happened. I believe I did mention to him the fact that she had said that she was trying to teach him a lesson. Not that anything was done with malice. I didn't state that at all.
So it's your recollection now today that on the 26th, you told Officer Lowen what you just told this jury. Is that correct?
Yeah.
All right. Sir. In preparing for this case, did you have a meeting with the Assistant State Attorney on September 23rd of 2024?
Did I have a meeting?
Yes.
A brief chit chat over the phone.
A brief chit chat goes over.
Thank you, Winston Clotho, for becoming a member on Most Channel. She very much appreciates it.
Phone?
Yes, sir.
All right. At that point in time over the phone, did you tell him that Sarah Boone, the defendant, stated that she was teaching him a lesson and things got out of hand and that she fell asleep?
Yes.
Is that what you told him?
He just testified to that.
And that was in 2024 of
No.
September the 23rd of this year, 2024. Is that correct?
Yes.
Are you telling us that back on February the 26th of 2020, you told Officer Lowen at that time the same thing?
As I recall, yes.
So did she ever tell you how things got out of hand?
No.
Sir, you testified that you knew both Mr. Torres and Ms. Boone, is that correct?
Yes.
You actually knew George Torres from a different time, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
When did you first know George Torres?
In the 1990s.
In the 1990s?
He was a teenager and he lived down the street from me and my wife.
In the 90s.
So you had a
Love
previous relationship with Mr. Torres?
No, not at all.
Not at all. You just knew him from then?
Yes, as I stated, he was a teenager and I was an adult.
During this time, though, that you became reacquainted with him, did y'all establish a friendship at that time here in Orlando?
I wouldn't say friendship, but an acquaintance, yes.
Okay.
He's not a friend. He knew him back in the day. George was a kid, and he also stated that in his interview. He also, if you go back and listen to the audio interview done, he does say teach him a lesson in that one as well.
Sir, on Monday, February the 24th,
I used to like it.
that would have been the day that you were with Ms. Sexton and Gene Harris.
Yes.
Out in front of the apartment.
Correct.
Did you talk to law enforcement that day?
No.
You did not talk to them that day?
I don't recall talking to him that day, no.
Okay. Thank you, sir. I don't have any. If I can confer.
You can, sir.
Thank you, sir. I don't have any further questions.
Any redirect examination?
Just brief.
All right, thank you.
Back in the 90s, when you had previously known George Torres in this case, where were you living at that time?
I lived across the street. I lived on one block. He lived the next block over down in the middle.
In what city?
Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
And when did you move from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania?
2018.
So in the intervening years, from your move from Philadelphia to coming to work at Tealwood Park, did you have any contact with George Torres?
No, as a matter of fact, I moved from that particular block in 2005. So I don't meet Judge again until I work at Tealwoods.
When did you start working at Tealwoods?
2018, 2019. there.
No further questions.
Can this witness be released?
No, Your Honor, just subject to recall.
All right, so he'll be
Interns.
released subject to recall. Thank you.
Thank you.
He said it in the beginning. It's people who go to college that he has there as interns.
Steve, call your next witness.
State will call Deputy Kayla Rodriguez.
Is that the good hair, Kayla Rodriguez? No, she's not Rodriguez.
I thought she was, but I could be wrong.
Mo would die if she's not here for. Oh, she's the first responder, I think.
Good afternoon, ma'am. You can be seated. Please state your name and spell it for the record if you could for us.
Kayla Rodriguez. Kayla, Kayla. Rodriguez, ROD.
She looks 16.
Isn't she the cutest little thing?
She is.
RIG, UEZ.
All right, thank you. Statutory, you may inquire.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Hi.
Can you tell us did you work for?
Orange County Sheriff's Office.
And what is your position with the Orange County Sheriff's Office?
Deputy Sheriff.
And how long have you been a deputy sheriff?
A little over 8 years, since 2016.
And tell us, what are your duties as a deputy sheriff?
As a deputy, I respond to calls for service, anything from a over with call, like a car being keyed the day prior, or a 911 emergency.
And what type of training do you need to be a deputy sheriff?
So for me, I obtained my bachelor's degree from UCF in criminal justice in 2014. After that, in 2016, I was hired by the sheriff's office. Right after being hired, I went straight into the academy. The academy is 5 months of training. We go over everything from case law, scenarios, defensive tactics, physical training. After that, I do 2 more months with the sheriff's office where we go specifically into policy related to Orange County specifically. After that, I do 3 months on the road with a trainer where we are evaluated periodically through that process. You have a partner, you respond to calls for service during that time, and you slowly learn how to handle calls by yourself.
Do you also undergo continuing training as a condition of your employment?
Yes.
Tell us, were you working on February 24th, 2020?
Yes.
And tell us, what area of the county were you working in?
Orange County, unincorporated Orange County.
And did you receive a call in regards to this case?
Yes.
And what was that call? What information did you have at the time you received the call?
So the dispatcher informed me that a woman called 911. She was actively performing CPR and that her boyfriend was in a suitcase.
And did you respond out to the scene?
Yes.
And when you responded out to the scene, were you dressed similarly as you are dressed today?
Yes.
And just for the record, you have, it looks like a standard green uniform on with a tool belt, your firearm, and also radio, body-worn camera, badge.
Yes.
Tell us about your body-worn camera.
So my body camera is used to capture scenes when we arrive. So as we are conducting any sort of law enforcement action, we turn our camera on.
When you turn,
I like the placement of the camera. It's not down by the chest where they normally put it so you can't see it when they pull the pew out, that she has it on the shoulder. It looks kind of like a Predator's sighting device. But are we going to watch the body cam video now? Elky legs.
your camera on. Tell us, does it immediately capture sound at that point?
It does not. When we activate our camera, it goes back a minute. And the minute that it goes back to, you don't hear any audio for that first minute.
Tell us also about the capacity and the battery life of your camera as well.
So the battery will last us an entire shift, typically if it's in a buffering mode. So if we're not recording, it will last the entire shift. As we record, it does drain the battery. So typically we will turn it off if we're sitting in our car for an extended period of time. If we call our supervisor, if we're talking to another deputy on the side, away from a scene, we will not have the camera recording. If it recorded throughout the entire shift, the battery would die. We would need multiple batteries.
So you actually activate the camera in order to begin recording?
Correct.
Was your body camera operational on this call out?
Yes.
It's actually a pretty good. Well, of course, you have the motion thing. Are they just gonna make her verify it and not show it today? They could do that like the other videos.
Yeah, I've been doing that, so we'll see.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness, which was previously marked for identification as states H, I, and G that have been shown to defense?
You may.
It's an olive green uniform.
Ma'am, I'm first showing you what's been marked for identification as states.
He's the one who made me fall in love with
You
Sarah.
recognize that disc? Did you have an opportunity to review that disc prior to coming to court today?
Yes.
And tell us, what is that disc?
Thank you,
Body-worn
Major Mom,
camera
for
from the
supporting
day
those
of the
channels.
From February 24, 2020?
Correct.
And is that your initials on the disc?
Yes.
And does that disc fairly and accurately represent the contents of your body-worn camera?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to move what's previously been marked for identification as states I into evidence.
Any objections?
No objection.
All right, what was pre-marked as I will be received into evidence without objection as states 4.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
I was just about to make
Orange County, unincorporated.
I'm just saying this snot stopper, get away from it, buddy. You're not Tom Selleck, and it's not the 80s. No snot stoppers.
Ma'am, next I'm showing you what's been marked for identification as states H. Can you take a look at that disc? Tell us, what is that disc?
Body-worn camera from the day of the incident.
From February 24, 2020?
Yes.
And did you have an opportunity to review that disc prior to coming to court today?
Yes.
And is that your initials on the disc?
Yes.
And does that disc fairly and accurately represent the contents of that portion of your body-worn camera?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to move what's been marked for identification as states H into evidence.
No objection to any of those coming in.
All right, what was pre-marked as states H will be received without objection as states 5.
And lastly, ma'am, I'm showing you what's been marked for identification as states G. Do you recognize this disc?
Yes.
And tell us, what is that disc?
Body-worn camera from the day of the incident.
From February 24, 2020?
Yes.
And you had an opportunity to review this camera prior to coming to court?
Yes.
And that's your initials on the disc?
Yes.
And it fairly and accurately represents your conduct on the body-worn camera?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to move what's been marked for identification as states G into evidence.
No objection.
Thank you. What was pre-marked as states G will be received without objection as state 6.
Your Honor, request permission to publish states 4.
You may.
Your Honor, may we dim the lights and use the overhead projector?
Yes.
Well, we're going to get the video.
Oh, boy.
We won't be able to see her face when they present the suitcase, Shalom, because you will have, this is a static cam we will have the entire time.
Hello there. You live here? Okay, I'll talk to you guys. That's my, the property manager. Tell him really quick, or we'll take care of that. Where's he at? I'll don't worry about that. We'll take care of that for you, okay? I had to figure out this. Okay, wait 1 second, okay? I really, I'm great. Okay, well, I got my dog parked on the counter. Okay, we'll take care of you 1 second. At the time,
She was well pickled at this time.
What's going on? Who is he? Boyfriend? Yes, for like 3.5 years. What happened? We are right, last night. Can you pass it to the around the FBI? They need to sign that, sure. No, you should then have to. This might be real thing. So each of them has to put their name. What's going on? I just no problem. Together, we need to right there. You are putting a puzzle together? Yes, we have a puzzle that we started in there. Okay. alcohol was to make new art together, like having a good time with one another. But we were drinking, we had a bottle of wine last night. So then it's like, we expect to how you speak, right? Okay. So he gets in the suitcase. Okay. That's my assistant. I told him. No. I told him over here. Okay. Okay. I didn't know what to do. Okay. I didn't know what to do. Okay. So then he came over here. Yeah, let's talk inside. Okay. I called you guys. The problem is, I fell asleep. When did you do CPR? This morning. When I found it, before you called. Yeah. I'm stop right now. I tried. I was awake, but I was in bed at like 12:30ish, whatever. So I came downstairs, and I was like, oh, he's in the suitcase still. That's when I found him. I took him out. I tried doing CPR, and then I called him, and then I called you guys. Did he get here before the fire department got here? True. Did have some fire department? Okay. Where's he at? Right on the street. Okay. So you were playing and.
TC will only pick it up when they can pick it up.
Okay. You're okay. I wasn't there. I'm just trying to figure out what happened. Like having an aneurysm or a heart attack or what? Medical condition. None that I know of. None that I know of. No. All we have is a bottle of wine. Literally, just a bottle of wine. Okay. Doing artwork.
Literally just a bottle of wine. You are so unbelievable, untrustworthy, Sarah.
Can we expect what happened to me? That's all that happened. I don't want there, but I don't know what happened. So how long were you doing CPR on him prior to falling out that morning? Tried that all morning? Yes. Okay. And then I told him, well, I wasn't sure. Probably, let fall apart. Here, let me go with that in, okay? Please, ma'am, I got the pepper. I'm still cutting out. Okay. Ma'am, and you can't talk to him until we get down to the paper, okay? Just don't leave, okay, Brian? Thank you, ma'am.
True.
Thank you. I know. Do me a favor. Stand over there. I'll be 1 second. There's a dog in there? Yeah. You want to clear the back bedrooms real quick? Just make sure there's nobody else in here? Nope, he was here with the girlfriend, and that's the girlfriend's ex-husband. He's going to see you. It'll play out. So this is what she said. She's going to do it. He's got him all morning for calling us. Yep. So I'm going to go ahead and start making phone calls. Okay, what do I do with this dog? Because I don't want him to mess with. Here, come here. Oh, perfect. Okay. Yes. Hey, come on, let's go outside. Come on, come on.
Good boy.
Let's go outside. You think about it, man? But you want to make sure.
Oh, I haven't seen this part of it. Oh.
Orange County.
There's something. Right over here. We check this closet.
It's pretty nice apartment.
I was gonna say, how did she afford that?
Ryan's alimony.
Oh yeah, I forgot. She's getting alimony.
I guess we're gonna have to set up a crime scene now.
Because that's a kind of a nice apartment.
Just give us a second, okay? It's on the counter. I'm telling you, you can come out of the house. Here, let's get you down, because I don't want you passing out. This is probably a lot for you to deal with, right? I can get you some water, okay? Just, I want you down on your feet, because I don't want you passing out. I need to find water. Okay, I'll get some for you.
Your Honor, request permission to publish States 5.
You may proceed.
Yeah, it's a nice open, feels, even if it's small, it feels bigger because of the good lighting.
Yeah, and it like wrapped around. I was like, cool. I don't know.
Yeah, and a little garden in the back. Oh, Jamie. Ooh. Oh, I'm gonna embiggen this because I might have to have a few seconds for myself.
Excuse me. Don't you dare.
Oh,
Let's go ahead and start making.
elky legs, straddle that bush like we're having smicks. Those tight pants fit your butt, and you can't hardly see the cottage cheese. Oh, what a woman!
That is a
Maybe
talent. That really is.
She's
she
really
brings it out in
probably
me.
sitting there watching it going, God, I wish I had that body again.
Yeah, that's why
She's
I
like,
want
I have great legs.
Look at those legs. Those are those are some really good legs.
That's why I lay in my pants with the clippers, even though I'm not allowed to because I was a hot mama.
She's like, oh, and she should have gotten me the shorter skirt.
Spell it for me. Correx. And his first name, George, Jorge. Jorge. O-R-G-E.
It doesn't hurt.
His birthday, 2/13/78. And this is the boyfriend. How long? 3.5 years. Living together that whole time? Yes. Okay. And your last name? Boone. Spell it B-O-O-N-E. First name, Sarah. S-A-R-A-H. Birthday, 10/10/77. So you kind of start to kind of collect yourself. Tell it to me again. You guys were playing last night, drinking a bottle of wine, putting us together, doing artwork, puzzles, artwork. We got a bottle of wine, and they decided to play hide and seek. So he what time was that? Do you remember? I mean, I know that I was bed probably by like what, 12:30. Okay. Well, I went upstairs at least, and I fell asleep, forgetting that he was in the suitcase.
Playing the hide and go.
Yes.
And at some point, you put him in the suitcase.
No, he got in the suitcase. So he thought it would be funny to be put in the suitcase. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to joke with you and I'll zip you up and make him, squirm a little bit, whatever it is. But then I fell asleep.
Teach him a lesson.
Right where it is. Right now.
Sarah, did you just say I was just gonna have him squirm a little bit? Again, admitting it wasn't an accident. It wasn't
Yeah.
self-defense. It's almost like being a spelling bee champion and a runner-up on Nickelodeon didn't make you the smartest person in the room. And yes, she has that puffy alky face. She looks like a malnourished chipmunk, just like I like them.
Yes.
You zipped him in there.
Yes.
Thought it would be funny a little bit.
It was. We both were laughing about it. And then I fell asleep.
Where did you fall asleep at?
Upstairs.
In your bedroom?
Yes.
Okay.
Totally forgetting that he was in the suitcase still.
Okay. And then you came back
Forget that.
downstairs.
This morning, or this afternoon, yes, when I got up.
What time?
12:30-ish. I was awake, but I totally forgot that he was in the suitcase. He can tell you there's a lot of.
That also takes away the self-defense again. I forgot he was in the suitcase. So you didn't leave him in there because you were so afraid he was going to attack you like a rabbit. You're such the right, but not the ability to shut up.
He said, Rita can go job.
Yeah, he did tell me.
Right, all that good stuff. So I just totally forgot.
You began to do CPR on him.
Yes. Yes.
About
And
what
gurgle.
time this morning did you start doing that CPR?
No, it was the afternoon. It was afternoon because I was awake. But then I finally decided to come downstairs at like 12:30-ish, whatever it is. And I was like, he wasn't moving, nothing was happening. So I unzipped it, took him out and started doing CPR on him. He was on his way up here. I called you when he got here.
Once he got here, you called us?
Yes.
Okay.
And air was coming out and he was gurgling, but I could tell by looking at him.
But you had to do CPR, you were doing that on your own?
Yes. Okay. And then the person that was on the phone with me also, I counted with him doing. And he's got no medical, he doesn't take any medication? I don't know, like, I don't know medical wise, like, what, I know he doesn't take any medications whatsoever. The only thing, like I said, I don't know if alcohol has to do with it, but we had a bottle of wine. Okay, all right. Here, I want you to sit back down, because I don't want. Can I have one more sip of water? Yes, go on. That personal 29 residential audible, +30, guys, they die. I'll do what I can to get you a cup, because I don't want you to have to be doing that.
What the hell is she doing?
She's got to get a drink of water. She's hung over. The dry mouth will get you.
True.
Baker, are you like trying to speak and you're muted?
I'm touching my mic inappropriately. I'm saying there's nothing as sexy as a woman drying her mouth in her short sleeve T-shirt. And Rubia, everyone is wondering why are she going with the we were playing hide and seek defense.
Yeah.
It again, you should have just gone. It's a kinky smexy thing. People would not have questioned it as much. You say hide and seek, everyone is like, the hell you say?
She's drinking out of the garden hose because she is so hungover. She has the worst cotton mouth.
I've been there, feel her pain.
Touch it right there. Right here, don't talk to the ex-husband right now. I won't. Can I have a cigarette, please? Ma'am, I can't take anything out of the house. It's on the back porch. Nope, all of it, secure, okay? I'll try my best to get you what you need, okay? Maybe one of these extra packs from someone, sit down and I'll try and get you what you need, okay? Just cut. Okay. I don't want you on your sleeve. Yes, you put it on the second. He came back in? So there's no thanks then? Corporal, I can give you a run now? She's, sitting on the curb at the I was getting ready to call you guys. Yeah. Want to talk over here?
Your Honor, request permission to publish State 6.
You may do so.
This must be the best day for these officers after sitting there saying, she was straddling the bush and she was so hungover, I could smell the cheap wine on her and the old cigarettes.
Ugh. So gross.
Can you imagine being the cop having to explain, she was playing hide and seek and then she forgot about him hiding? As you do, and
Yeah,
she really wants a Dr. Pepper.
Now we did see his legs for a short while. I never seen the body cam from inside the house, so I didn't know we were showing Jorge. Normally I'll take that off the screen, but at least this wasn't as gruesome as they normally are. I would say a durum kebab and some electrolytes, but to each their own.
Hey, Sarah.
No.
Did you get enough water? No, if you want to stay seated, I don't want you getting lightheaded. So remember I said the detectives were going to come out, talk to you, and go from there. You know what I'm saying? They're here. They're going to ask you a few questions and then go from there, okay? All right.
All right, Sarah, my name is Chelsea. My partner Scott. It's my understanding you reside here?
We didn't see this.
Is it just you? Okay. Your former husband, okay. But you reside here with George, and then your son lives with you, or lives, there's 50/50? Yeah. Okay. So from what, has told me, she explained, last night that you guys were drinking a bottle of wine, and around midnight, you decided, you guys, okay. You guys decided to play hide and seek.
Well, we were playing hide and seek, and then.
Was your son home at the time, or, okay.
No, it was mine. It was fine.
Okay.
Decided to play, we just did it like that, like, sure. We were putting puzzles together, we were doing artwork. You can see the puzzle that we finished in there, and then the artwork, and then decided to play hide and seek, just being stupid.
Okay.
So he decided to get in the suitcase. So I thought it would be funny to, and he was talking about it too, to get them up in there. I go upstairs and he fell asleep. So this morning when I was down here and I actually got up out of the bed, I thought for sure he was downstairs on the laptop, really quiet. But then I came upstairs and I'm like, where is he? Like, and that's when I found it.
Okay.
I don't know what happened.
Okay. And then you weren't sure about if you woke up this morning?
It was afternoon. I mean, I was
or this afternoon,
but I just didn't want to come downstairs. So
okay.
I waited
Quarter-past
for a while, and then I eventually came downstairs. He was about where he was, and then I was like, oh my God.
The videos will probably be brought in by Detective Goodhair, because she's the one who found them on her phone.
I pulled them out, and I ripped them out, and I started to try to make CPR point. I helped you guys, so I called Brian, and then as soon as he got here, which is 30 seconds on the road, I called you guys. Okay, the person on the phone had me do the concussions potentially, so I can count with him until you guys shut up.
Okay. And so as part of our investigation, we obviously have to go inside the house. We have to look at things. Are you okay with us going in the house and looking at things? Okay.
Notice the intimidation. She was scared to death.
And forensics, so we have to have our forensics crime scene investigators come out. Are you also okay with them coming inside, taking photographs and? Okay. Okay.
Can I ask, is Brian, George, was he diagnosed with any kind of medical history?
Not that I know of. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't take drugs. I mean, we'll have you take a bottle of wine here and there, but I don't know.
Like, my next question. So you guys don't normally drink? You just drink once in a while, or?
Well, I'm gonna say like, okay, I guess normal drinking is like we will have like a glass of wine or two, like while we're cooking dinner, or beer, and we'll say that's working with him.
Again, you're such a liar. We'll have a glass of wine or two. We know you drank 2 Magnum bottles of wine.
But it's not like. I don't understand though, like for the little bit that we had, like not having like I don't know if they had a heart attack or a stroke or anything, or what happened. I don't know.
So were you guys together all day yesterday? Yes. Okay. Here?
Yes.
Like neither of you left the apartment yesterday?
I rode up to the store to get cigarettes.
Okay.
But you could walk there.
Does he have any history? I know he doesn't now, he said he doesn't.
I don't know.
As far as you've ever known him, you've never seen him?
No. I mean, he's from Philadelphia, and he grew up in Philadelphia, and then he went to Massachusetts, and then from Massachusetts he came down here. So I don't really know, like, a whole lot of, like, medical history or anything.
How long have you guys been together?
Almost 4 years, like 3.5 years.
You guys been living here the whole time?
Yes.
You've never been to the doctor or to the hospital during that time?
He and his brother got into a really bad argument at one point and had facial reconstruction. But he has been in the hospital from that, and then I talked him into going to see like a regular physician so he could get just like a regular like checkup thing. Yeah. But there were no red flags.
How long ago was that?
or the doctor? Both.
The surgery, I think, will hit this one way. 2 years maybe, 2.5 years. The checkup was probably, I guess, 2 years too.
Okay.
And the suitcase is still in there?
Yep, I'll let you.
Is it normally stored down there? Or did you guys travel recently?
No, he was going to start picking from
No, they have actually been moving really fast. We have this is witness number 8 we are at.
Don't shit in there, so that's why
it's out? Yeah. Okay, you guys did recently travel somewhere and you're like,
After you zipped them up, did you move the bag around and mess with them at all, or you just zipped it up and walked away and after?
we're laughing about it, but I went upstairs and I fell asleep.
Did he get the 2-pack of shiny shirts? Is that a blue shiny shirt?
Is he sitting on his rear end and his head up and he just kind of
No,
gets up?
okay, so like this is like this is his head and then right here.
So he was laying on his side?
Yes.
You just closed the flap and zipped it around?
Yes.
Okay.
I was not playing.
Understand this? Okay.
So he said that I needed to tell you guys about his family. Like, who do I talk to about?
we're gonna do that once we walk through and see. Yeah, we're gonna.
I'm just telling you, like,
Yeah, it's gonna be.
I'm afraid for my life. I want you to know that. I am afraid for my life. His family has never liked me. I'm the blue-eyed white devil, what they call me.
Blue-eyed white devil.
So they've never liked me. They've never taken me in. They've never accepted me. I'll put it that way.
Have you called any
You
of them?
would want to let Sarah into their family reunion.
No, I mean, like, about this. Is
Be
that
gone,
okay?
Satan.
So
Be
no one's
gone.
gonna know until we will be making that notification. So
They're going to
it's,
tell me.
okay,
Do
well,
they live local?
Yes, they're down the road. They're going to tell me. His kids are going to tell me in Philadelphia. They're going to tell me. This was not intentional.
okay.
They're not going to understand that. They're not going to accept it.
We're gonna do a thorough investigation and we will definitely make sure that you don't feel scared when we need you, okay?
And my 9-year-old.
Or he's at school and he's with your husband.
I know, well,
Ex-husband.
Your husband said that, or your ex-husband said he made arrangements for your 9-year-old to be picked up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, rest Brian.
All right, we're going to go aside.
So I know what's going on.
I had some pasta.
All you have to do is get their attention if you have a question you need to talk to us. He's standing right there, she'll be right here.
Yeah, okay, but when you guys tell me, like, so you're telling me, like, you won't call whoever it is without.
I love that Sarah Boone is now sitting at. Oh, we can't use the clock because that's off. She's now sitting whining about George's family because they don't like her, so she's afraid for her life. He is lying 10 meters from her, dead. She don't give 2 craps about that. She just thinks about poor little Sarah.
Yeah.
The jury must already hate her as much as we do. No, she has cotton mouth because she was drunk the day before.
I mean, I have a little.
We're not calling, we're not making phone calls, we're actually gonna speak to them in person. We are. It'll be
You'll know
later.
prior to us making any
I'm
contact.
not gonna be here. They're going to tell me.
We'll address all of that, okay, before we leave, okay?
This was.
Okay?
Oh, there's the roommate who was like, no, don't talk to me. Just trying to leave.
Thank you.
Just stay seated, okay, Sarah? I know you're panicking, okay? Just relax. I'll come and talk to you. We'll keep checking on you.
Yeah, I remember that. I'll remember that when I go to my refractory period later. No, it was the neighbor roommate, but it wasn't that neighbor
Oh,
we
yeah.
just heard before.
No, I was joking. I'm sorry. I don't like the three-piece suit on him.
While you were at the scene, did you also make contact with Brian Boone?
Yes,
Did you take a statement from him as well?
I did.
Were all your interactions with the
Sadly, her camera just shut off in those 5 hours. She was crying hysterically because she lost George. She had composed herself before that.
defendant on that day captured on your body-worn camera?
Yes.
I have no additional questions at this time.
Thank you. Any cross-examination?
No questions, Judge.
Is this witness released?
Yes, Your Honor.
Subject to recall.
All right. You're released, not subject to recall, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nobody's break for a moment.
Sarah's like, I was terrified, and they're mean to me, and you should have let me get a shorter skirt because I have great gams.
Yeah. Did you see me in the? George was a lucky guy. See me in these hot short pants. I could have any guy at the bar. One even gave me Coke.
Oh my God.
I can. If you have seen Over the Hedge with Hammy, the squirrel who's always hyperactive, then he drinks an energy drink and time slows down. That's all I'm imagining. Is she started talking so fast she made Ben Shapiro look like a slow talker.
Well, and she has a more manly voice than he has, so.
Well, so do I.
Actually, so did my daughters when they just learned to talk.
Well, you know, I mean, not everyone can have a deep, beautiful voice.
No, but everyone can own a part of Birch Gold. Did you know your 401k is in danger? And you can buy a Birch Gold by writing code Shapiro 401k.
You know what terrifies me is that Sarah takes as much notes as I do when I was in jury duty, and I didn't realize they read those notes. They were definitely not safe for work.
Weird guy with the strange hair.
Members of our jury, it is 3:21 at this time. We're going to go ahead and take
Well, I think
that afternoon regularly scheduled break. I'm going to ask you to come back here in 15 minutes at 3:37. Similar instructions that I've given you previously. Please don't conduct any independent investigation or research. It's the
break time.
Goodness gracious.
Well, I think I might have said that. Is this Super Trooper from Canton, Massachusetts? Because what the hell is going on here?
We've been spoiled with some really fast cases. Well, Jamie and I just covered that Quentin Nixon case. That was about as slow as not Jamie. Jamie isn't slow as Sarah the day after she's been drunk. Thank you, Puddletown. I see she shaved her face for court today. Was beginning to be the shaggy DA.
Thank you so much.
Oh, Mo. Oh, I was thinking, who?
Oh, and I need to write down those ones that got gifted. Congratulations for joining the Church of Mo. And thank you so much, Sea Girl, for gifting those memberships.
She's trying to occupy herself doing the video so she doesn't have to look up. Probably. But can I be Frank, not Baker, for a moment?
I'll allow
Sure.
it.
Sure, Frank.
She likes this. She loves the attention. She loves that these young women surrounds her, talks to her like they like her. She loves that right now 247 people, I just said it and it went down. 247 people are sitting here watching her. If we go to all the other channels, tens of thousands of people are watching her. Because I'm Sarah Boone and I approve of this message. And she loves all the attention she's getting. And
But it's negative. She likes that.
No, but in my heart of hearts, I don't think she believes she's going to prison. I think deep down she's sure she's going to beat this.
She must be, or she she would have took that plea deal if she didn't think that she was going to get off. So, sorry.
Nixon trial is delayed till the 29th because some new evidence and because the prosecution couldn't get their finger out of the fun canal and get moving.
These are the new memberships. Thank you.
I never got my question answered. Are you gonna have Stabby Day tomorrow, Baker? No, I'll be going to see Denmark's Strongest Man competition tomorrow, and it'll end somewhere between 3 and 4, so I can't be home for the normally regulated schedule, but I have already done 2 extra shows this week, so and I don't know if I find something interesting or something, I might do a show over the weekend. I don't know, but there will be no Stabby Day because when there's Stabby Day, I will probably be trying to see some guys who's fatter than me try to lift the log.
Ooh. I actually like those, except when it looks like they're going to pass out and or maybe have a movement of sorts.
Well, some of them have those.
Yeah, they are fun to watch.
Yeah, and it's my old gym because the Danish Strongman's Association it's never been really working that well. It's always a lot of infighting and stuff like that. So my old gym is run by the runner-up. I think he's been runner-up for Denmark's Strongest Man 8 years, and his buddy is also a strong man. So they help out, and then they said, okay, because it looked like there wouldn't be a Strongest Man this year, so they said, we'll figure it out. So I thought to support it because I like the sport and I like to watch. I love Brian Shaw. I thought, well, if you wanna, it's kind of like YouTube. If you wanna help people, go spend those $50 and buy an extra soda and something to eat and support them. Buy a T-shirt, do whatever you can.
Gonna do the ball thingy, where they pick up a ball and it gets big. Oh, well, I like
No,
that one.
there's one hold. Can't remember what it's called. Then there's log press. I think there's deadlift. Can't even remember what it is, but there will be a push, a pull, and some presses. So it's Jamie's time to babysit us on her own. Yes, tomorrow instead of Stabby Day, we will be having a little bit of what everyone has been waiting for.
Jamie, the talk of the town. Dollar store diva, she's holding it down. In thrift shop heels and vintage shine. Looking like a million, but all on a dime. She don't need a crown or gold to glean. Fashion on budget, living the dream. With every step.
So that will be tomorrow at noon if Jamie can figure out how to open StreamYard.
That's such a catchy little song, and I was over here like,
I know. I was like bopping
dancing a little bit. I was too.
Oh, if we can get the divorce letters by tomorrow, we're gonna do that.
I like Dollar Store Diva. That's my new favorite thing.
I have never seen someone squatting and blowing an O-ring. No, but I have. I almost passed out. I could feel my. I haven't done legs because I had that injury to my thigh, and because we had one of those screamers in the gym, and he was doing standing calf raises, and he had like nothing, like 90 pounds or something on the Smith machine, and he was screaming like he was giving birth. So I went over there, and I normally start out with like 220 or something like that, just to get going. I have big calves. Then I went up to 300 and whatever it is in pounds, and I thought, no, screamer guy, let me just see if I can do 440 still. Then I did two sets of 440, 8 reps, and the last set, I could feel my spine kind of shift, and I thought I should probably stop now. And I just sat down, and I'm not really sure what happened the next couple of seconds, but my gym buddy was talking to me, and I was just sitting thinking, what? I might have passed out a little bit. It was hard. But 440, that's a little bit of weight as well.
Yes. Now, while we have a little break, Owens said a statement where like George was much stronger than her. She had what, 40 pounds on him?
Yeah.
I get that men have more strength upper body wise and things like that, but oh my gosh. What a ridiculous thing to say. Especially when things are going to come out like, well, she got mad at him and may have hurt him, but you're going to hear a lot of stuff.
Well, I don't do that.
Craziness.
I don't do it again until my next heavy leg day. I'm going to go easy the next 2 times, and then I'm going to go heavy again. Yeah, we could see him. She talked about him having teeth problems because he had that reconstruction. You could tell he was in a very bad shape, even though it's at normal muscle, not definition, but normal evolve. He looked normal
muscularity.
And muscularity. But just put it in there from the report. There was no signs of any recent broken bones in his chest, so she didn't do any CPR. But that guy, drunk as a skunk, and I think they started playing as she said, and said, "My son can get into a suitcase. I bet you can get into a suitcase. It'd be fun if you got a suitcase." Yeah, sir, it could be fun. I don't think you can do it. And then he got in there, and she just turned evil Sarah. It's like I hear in a lot of trials where, especially if it's female victims, they say, and their eyes just turn black. I can just imagine that's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
He was 62 inches. 62, where was it? He was 62 inches.
So he was 5'2".
Giggity, giggity, giggity.
I was taller than George by 4 inches. I know there's a joke in there somewhere, but we'll just keep that to ourselves.
Hey, Pixie, welcome back to the Awakening world. The Atlas Stone is my favorite in Strongman. That is just crazy. Yeah, but this is a little impromptu because it looked like they didn't put it on, so they don't have all the equipments. So yeah. Jorge was probably stronger in his left arm than Sarah is in both of her arms at once. Well, it depends on if he is a drunk who really didn't do anything. And again, I don't think they were fighting. Well, they were yelling at each other, and then because people in those, it's the emotional roller coaster. Then we're fighting, then we're loving, then we're fighting, then we're loving, then we're fighting. And they were probably, and I'm so sorry I yelled at you. You know I love you. George, I can live your George. You know I can live out your George. And then they had fun time, and I love that she said we were watching Happy Feet. Who watched Happy Feet in 2020? Good movie. It's not that, but who watched it in 2020?
People that don't have cable. And why would you? I mean, I love kid movies. I just don't see George being like, let's watch Happy Feet again or The Good Dinosaur. I really like both of those.
That was a sad movie.
I know.
Kid movies are
Bus toss
devastating.
would be impressive. Yeah. Danish anchor toss. No. Well, I can look up what it is they are competing in. I love that The 15-minute breaks is never 15 minutes. Can I go to the website and what am I gonna do?
But yeah, they don't need much crazy testimony because, I mean, all her videos say it for themselves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know how the defense is going to overcome that. Even if you
No.
play all of the, heart tug song or cards, Sarah Boone is going to get up there and talk. And she will not remember as soon as she's pushed her little girl Sunday school toys. She was incredibly terrified and bullied and scared because all the officers were wearing sidearms when they came to her house.
Yeah,
She
and
will forget that as soon as she's answered, and then she'll be like, "Tell me," and we both know.
Yeah, and her doing it in, if they're doing it in narrative form, that's going to be interesting. Because you can't get wrapped up in those lies because she knows she changed her story.
Yeah, it really is. Again, her not taking the plea deal, I don't know what she's thinking. I don't know what the lawyers are thinking, taking her narrative as gospel. But this is not a good showing for any of them.
Mm-mm.
I do like that the judge is constantly asking, "Are you okay with this strategy that's going on?" So she cannot come back and say, "I had ineffective counsel. They were dumb. They were boobs. They were buffoons. They were duds."
Yeah, and
Because you know she's going to do that the very second she gets convicted, allegedly, possibly.
You know it because, you know, he's seen those
woo
letters she wrote.
woo woo, you know it.
Well, she writes a strong worded letter for everything, so you can only imagine.
Oh, I wonder if she's got like a Pop-Tart in the back or maybe like a PB and well, just PB sandwich.
Maybe.
I can't see what I can see. There's a silver dollar deadlift and there's a log press. Then I can't see what else is on the program.
A Sarah hurling event. We just get Sarah, throw her around like a hammer, allegedly in Minecraft.
That would be amazing.
I would love that. We would throw her onto bean bags. She would survive.
Well, it's in our old shipyards building, so the harbor is right next to it. I'm just saying if they tossed her far enough.
You know,
Yeah.
I think we would solve the national debt if we, like watch strong men hurl Sarah into the sea, pay $5. Our national debt would be done. Vote for me for president. Geneva Convention be damned.
Well, giant slingshot. We have an island. Just the old shipyard is on a small island, and just across, it's not that far. We could probably try and shoot her across the sound. I'm just thinking of Casey Anthony, another Florida case they got really wrong. Casey Anthony was what this wasn't. It was filled with reasonable doubt because they overcharged her.
Yes.
I think they were hung up on the DP. That's the only reason that it went the way it went.
We are back on the record, case number 2020 CF 2603, State of Florida versus Sarah Boone. Let me get appearances for the state.
Dave Kestner on behalf of the state.
William J. for the state.
Defense.
James Owens for Miss Boone.
Tony Henderson for Sarah Boone.
All right. Ms. Boone is still seated at council's table wearing the same black suit and pink blouse from this morning. State, anything we need to address before we bring back in our panel?
Not from the state.
Defense?
No, sir.
All right, let's go ahead and stand and we can bring back in our panel.
These are men's suits. Why did they have such trouble finding suits that are wide enough in the shoulder? Him in three-piece look like they're stuffed into it.
You may be seated. State, do you recognize our jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, do you recognize our jury?
Yes.
Members of the jury, again, if you could
Never
please
heard
raise
that
your
before.
hand, showing that you complied with the court's instructions during our last break. All right, the record reflect all jurors have raised their hands. State, you may call your next witness.
State will call Deputy John Martinez.
Who's that? I can't remember that name.
I think he was the other one on the body cam. The one that we thought
Oh, the
might be
one
breaking
inside
his
the house.
nose.
He's a man then. It could be he's the suitcase expert because he looks like he has the size to emulate Jorge's. Well, he's a little heavier, but he doesn't look that tall.
Sir, good afternoon. Can you state and spell your name for the record for us?
Deputy John Martinez, John-Martinez.
Thanks, sir. You may be seated. Thank you. You may inquire, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Tell us, who is it that you work for?
Orange County Sheriff's Office.
And what is
This one is scheduled for 3 weeks.
your position with the Orange County Sheriff's Office?
Deputy Sheriff.
Well, probably 2 weeks because
I'm going on my 16th year.
Prior to working for the Orange County Sheriff's Office, do you have any previous law enforcement experience?
I do.
And where was that?
I first started my career with the New York City Police Department,
And how long were you with the New York
New
City?
York, you say?
about 10 years.
And what was your position with the New York City Police Department?
I was a police officer.
And at the sheriff's office, tell us, what are some of your duties as a deputy sheriff?
Respond to calls of service. My primary function is the school resource officer.
And is continuing training a condition of your employment with the sheriff's office?
It is.
Tell us, how is it that you became involved in this case?
I was dispatched to this location.
And what was this location?
It was located at 4748 France Lane, apartment number 3.
And is that here in Orange County, Florida?
It is.
And when you responded to that location, who did you first come into contact with?
I came in contact with Miss Sarah Boone.
Do you see Sarah Boone here in court today?
I do.
Could you please point to her and identify an article of clothing she's wearing?
The lady sitting in the middle with the black blazer.
Your Honor, may the record reflect that the witnesses identified the defendant?
Record will still reflect.
I love that the officer's like, I'm not even going to guess what pink that is.
During the time that you
He's a man.
were on the scene,
I know.
did you have a body
It's not black or white.
I did.
It might be some
and
other
was
color.
that body worn camera activated?
It was.
Were all your contacts with Miss Boone recorded on that body worn camera?
It was.
Were other deputies also on the scene at that time?
Yes,
And was Deputy Rodriguez there?
she was.
So would both of your body worn cameras both capture some of the same time frames?
Correct. Yes.
Did you have an occasion to go inside of the apartment?
I did.
And inside of the apartment, what observations did you make?
When I first entered the apartment, I noticed a Hispanic male laying on his back in looks like a small nook dining area. Later identified Mr. George Torres.
Wasn't she a blonde this morning? Yeah, and she was a white girl. So yeah, she changed her hair.
She changed just a bit.
Either that, and it's very inappropriate blackface in court.
She's the Canadian Prime Minister.
You may.
Sir, I'm showing you it's been marked for identification as states K. Do you recognize that disc?
I do.
And tell us, what is that disc?
Is a copy of my body worn camera.
And does this body worn camera fairly and accurately depict the portion of the events that took place on February 24th, 2020?
It does.
And are those your initials on the disc?
Yes, they are.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to move what's previously been marked for identification as states K into evidence.
Any objections?
No objection.
What was pre-marked as states K will be received into evidence without objection as state 7.
Your Honor, request permission to publish.
You may. Madam Clerk, can you dim the lights?
Dim the lights. So we're going back to videos. No, this is from inside the house, sadly. Yeah. Watch out for the Canadians. The last time they got mad at Americans, you got a White House.
True, true.
Because they had to cover up the fire damage. War of 1812? 14? When did you fight against the Canadians? 1812, right?
Yeah,
can't
I think
remember.
so. I
Well,
only
you had
live
this
here. I don't
before.
remember history. It's not the Civil War or WW2. They don't teach that.
1812. Thank you. Yes. Oh. She just exudes smexiness. Wasn't it against the... Well, Canada was a part of the British Empire back then.
Isn't it still?
They're coming out now. I'll get you somebody.
No, they're part of the Commonwealth.
Ah,
But it's...
She wants to say something.
It-
She wants to call someone.
Oh, she's going to talk. I've never seen this one before. It is a shiny shirt.
Don't know anything though, like why?
lot more tomorrow morning as far as him. But I cannot, there's no way I could say how, why.
She could have done it, but with a Flurby.
That's normal when someone passes away. But then any I'm like really scared. I want you guys to know that.
You have all these evidence that we're here, nothing's gonna happen. Before we go and make any notifications, you'll have plenty of time to leave or do what you need to do. Whatever you need to do, okay? And we can talk about that more in Sunday, right? Yeah, you.
But like, I don't, like, this was totally like not intentional. Like, that's what.
How can anyone think she has a defense? She has now admitted to doing it 4 times at least on video, claiming it was not intentional. I just left him in there to shook him up a bit. And now she's
I
going
don't
with
know why.
self-defense. You haven't they told her when they made their plans that, Sarah, self-defense, you have to admit you did it intentionally.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get, again, she has now admitted to several different people. And if you are a conscientious juror, you're going to be writing down what she says in each of these videos just to, because they're going to have so many exhibits. I know I would label like this is exhibit X or Y, this is basically what it was. And then what I thought about it, just as present tense, so I could keep everything together. And we didn't have a lot of exhibits, but I wanted to make sure I did a good job. And the takeaway here is, again, she wants to teach him a lesson, and they didn't.
Yeah.
If that had been able to be impeached by the maintenance supervisor, they would have impeached it. But she was telling everyone she wanted to teach him a lesson, and she sent Mo, not me, unfortunately, I'm going to get rid of him.
Yeah.
I am surprised they didn't go with murder 1 when they found that. I mean, I know it's a stretch. It's a big stretch, and they are probably good with 2. But
Yeah, I think because it wasn't directly linked with this, I'm going to put him in a suitcase and get rid of him. They can't say murder 1. I was a little shifty because I hadn't heard about those text messages with the malice, but still there was malice when we found out about the baseball bat. But again, for those of you who are wondering why we're saying it's stupid to go with a self-defense claim, a self-defense is something you want to do. You are protecting yourself because you are in an imminent danger and you have to do it or else you will pass. You have now multiple times on video stated it was not intentional, and now all of a sudden, after you go to prison, you claim battered spouse syndrome, which is not something you can be without being self-defensing. And if you're self-defensing, you have to admit that it was intentional. So, yeah,
well,
sorry.
and we saw that if you want to see another case where they tried to do accidental self-defense, the Theodore Edgecombe case is a good one, because at the 11th hour, when the defendant was testifying, he said he didn't mean to use the pew-pew, and they were going for a self-defense, but you can't accidentally perform self-defense. It's a conscious act.
You
It
must
needs intention.
choose to do that because you believe that in that second, if I didn't do this, and again, you can't leave someone in a suitcase so they suffocate and claim self-defense, because you could have called the police, they could come get him and get him out of the suitcase. They have no defense.
And John Gary's right. He might, the lawyer might be, Owens might have been trying to get ahead of this by claiming that Sarah was lying. But Sarah does not seem the type to me to not throw anyone and everyone under the bus. So she would have started lying right away. She would have said he was hitting me. I was deathly afraid. You
Yeah.
know, please protect me.
And yes, Ashley Benefield had a way better self-defense, and she lost.
But I'm scared about too, like,
We'll have all the evidence. We'll have a lot more tomorrow.
She must take the stand, and he said in his opening she takes the stand.
Like you said, what you're seeing here is common. This is us coming out. His age, no real medical history that we know of. We're not going to pass away. We cannot.
I know.
We cannot do an investigation.
She is demure.
We wouldn't be here.
I don't know what it is.
Exactly. And that's what we're here to find out. We should be together. The answers that you want, the answers that family
I
don't want.
actually went to my class to get those my side. I mean, I know I can't go anywhere, but right. So do I just like sit out here and wait for you guys?
If you would, yeah, please.
Does anybody else have to show up or everybody's here that needs to be here? My team's here, that needs to be here. The medical examiners will show up when we call them, but we're not ready for them yet. So they're gonna take him, they're gonna take the photos, take him, but that's for the end of it. And they'll be called well in advance when we're ready for them, but we're not ready for them.
Yeah, and Russian, but look how nicely she's free pooping it. She's quite some woman.
And we won't be calling her quite yet. Okay? So like I said, I gotta go do some paperwork. They're gonna chat with some people, and then we're gonna come back and talk to you if you're okay with that. So just give us a little bit more time. Like I said, and you don't do that. So if you guys tell his family like today or after tomorrow, you have to.
You will, Holly.
Unsigned investigation is pretty
You
much
can't.
we want to be here.
You'll be back. Jamie Staff will get you back here. Well,
I mean, I understand.
I bet you right now she is more worried that she hasn't drunk anything in a couple of hours than anything else. She's going into withdrawals, and she has to sit outside for 10 hours.
And she couldn't bully Brian into taking the rap or anything like that. She's not allowed to talk to people. She wants to convince everyone of her victimhood. You know, no one really is paying Sarah attention. I bet you she thought that everyone would be like, oh my gosh, I am so sorry for your loss. This is terrible. And she would have just bathed in that sympathy for years. Yes, sir.
So, but like, what do you just?
Yeah, dress her up for like Sarah Boone for Halloween.
That we're going to be waiting for the autopsy results, and I will get the autopsy in the morning, and hopefully the doctor will be able to give me some of what they think and see. So yeah, they're gonna know what we're here, what we're investigating, and that we're still. They're gonna think that okay. They always have said that. They've always have said that. I told you because I'm the blue-eyed white dragon, as they call me, because they don't want him with me. So he's basically just not really been around his family because he chooses me over them. Even after I encouraged him numerous times for the next year.
I would just say chat believes 96% believes is the jury wondering what the hell when they hear about the suitcase. Yeah, that's that stupid hide and seek thing. Yeah.
Do you have somewhere safe, like, tonight? Both my parents are deceased, my grandparents are deceased, my aunt and uncle are deceased. I got notice. I have a brother that's in the Marines, and I got another one that's in jail. Unless one of the Marines local, no. Well, he's in Altamont, but I think he's doing whatever Marine he's doing. But the only way. Your phone's inside, correct? Yeah. Does he have a phone? No, he doesn't. He uses my phone. He uses your, yeah, we use the share phone. So the only place I could go is over to Brad's house. So I don't think I have a problem with it. So, well, like I said, we're not really here. If you do not feel safe, you're not going to be here. We do not know this. And then we're like, and then so I'm in Philadelphia. Well, she's in Philadelphia because there's going to be a funeral, right? That you're talking like days and no, I'm talking right here, right now. So let me get my notification. Let me go see the paperwork that I'm talking about because we can go back and forth about what it's like all day long.
not gonna leave here for you and you not have to. Please. I don't even know what to tell you. It's okay, just take a seat, have some water, give us a few minutes, let us do our thing, and we'll be back to talk to you, I promise, okay? Thank you. Thank you.
Well, yeah, okay.
You have anyone in there?
Is somebody here this name?
Okay, that's fine. You can, you're right there.
Yeah.
Okay, take your one. I have release coming, so just take it.
No further questions.
Thank you. Any cross-examination?
No, sir.
Can this witness be released?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. You're released, not subject to recall. Thank you. Thank you.
You can't do that to me when I'm eating, Nonya.
State, may call your next witness.
State will call Melissa Roughgarden.
As Mo have said multiple times, turn it into a SMEX thing.
Well, it's just like when you're calling into work and say you have explosive trots. No one is going to ask questions. Not a one.
Hey, Bradley McKay.
Ma'am, good afternoon. Can you state and spell your name for the record?
Witness number 10.
Melissa
One day.
Roughgarden, MELISSA
Thank you. Counselor, you may inquire.
Ma'am, who do you work for?
I'm employed with the Orange County Sheriff's Office.
What is your position with the Orange County Sheriff's Office?
Currently, I am a forensic biologist with the forensics unit. Prior to this, I was a crime scene investigator for 5 years.
And how long in total have you been with the Orange County Sheriff's Office?
About 6.5 years.
And tell us all the positions you've held during that time.
Those two, a crime scene investigator and a forensic biologist.
Let's turn to your work as a crime scene investigator. What does a crime scene investigator do?
We respond to crime scenes. We photograph and document those crime scenes through photographs, notes, and sometimes sketches. We collect evidence, we process the scene, and then we do further processing to that evidence back at our forensics lab.
When you say process evidence or process the scene, can you tell us what that entails?
It depends on the scene and the evidence, but it includes the photographs. We also take swabs for potential DNA. We can also do testing for possible blood and things like that. We also process for latent fingerprints, among other things.
What type of training did you need in order to become a crime scene investigator?
Upon being hired with the sheriff's office, as a CSI, I completed a 16-week training program, which includes in-house processing, as well as going out to crime scenes with trained crime scene investigators to observe and then assist, as well as taking on calls.
Not yet, Brandon. I think they will probably wait till the lead detective comes on. I would throw it in as the last you see, because it'll
Okay,
ruin
can
your
I-
day.
Can I make one statement? This woman is not a spring. She is definitely a fall. Those colors wash her out, ma'am. And look, as a muscular woman myself, the tight V-neck that doesn't even go to your cleavage because you got bazongas, it just makes them look huge enormous.
And Flower Meadow isn't your look.
No, I'm telling you, she
With
gets some jewel tones on, she's gonna rock it.
The
I need
trained
more
crime scene
plaid.
investigator.
Plaid
Approximately
vest
how many
is
crime
the
scenes
thing.
have you processed in the course of your course of your time as a CSI?
It would be hundreds. I don't know the exact amount.
3 weeks is
Were you
is
working
what they
in
have on the
this
calendar.
capacity as a CSI on February 24th, 2020.
Yes, I was.
And tell us, where did you respond out to on that day?
I responded to 4748 France Court, Apartment 3.
And is that in Orange County, Florida?
Yes, it is.
And when you responded to that scene, who did you make contact with?
I made contact with the homicide detective, Chelsea Kepsel.
did you receive information from the detective?
Yes, that it was a death investigation.
Did you walk the scene with the detective?
Yes.
And tell us, what does it mean to walk the scene with the detective in a homicide?
We go into the scene and just observe. We don't interact with anything and discuss what we see.
When you walked this scene, did you see George Torres?
Yes, I did.
Where was he located?
He was located on the floor in the living room of the apartment.
Did you, with the detective, identify potential items of evidence to be collected?
Yes.
You had mentioned previously about documenting scenes with photographs. Was that done in this case?
Yes, it was.
Who is Eileen Wernos?
She was the woman, the first, I think, woman in Florida to be put to the death penalty. She was played by
Oh, Monster.
yeah. I just can't remember who the chick's name is. She's
It's
from
that
South Africa.
African chick. Charlize Theron.
Oh yeah, but she definitely looked a whole heck of a lot different
Yeah,
in that movie.
she's a good actor.
She is, although I didn't realize I wasn't supposed to watch it for a plot, so road rage made no sense to me.
Shown to defense?
The Mad Max.
Ma'am, I'm showing
Steve
you
did it.
marked
Oh,
for
interesting.
identification as States M. Can you take a look at the contents of State M to yourself and tell me if you recognize the items contained within States M?
Yes.
Mats, can one of you share the links to Fedorowski's new video, a Halloween special? She put on a lot of weight. I remember she talked about that. I'm just a little sad. She never gets to play. That was a really good serious role. She was really good in it, but she's been this action chick, and then she did that 1,000 ways or million
You
ways to
recognize
find
the
the West. That was
contents of
such a
States
bad
M?
movie.
Yes, I do.
Tell us, what is the contents of State M?
They are photographs I took on the crime scene.
Do they fairly and accurately represent how that crime scene appeared on February 24th, 2020?
Yes, they do.
Here, at this time, I'd like to move what's previously been marked for identification as States M into evidence.
How many photographs are there? Do you have a total?
111.
No objection. All right. What was pre-marked as States M will be received into evidence without objection as States 8.
Your Honor, request permission to publish.
You may.
Your Honor, do we have the lights dimmed?
Yes.
As dim as Sarah Boone, thank you.
And I'm first going to publish to you as part of States M. Picture photo number 4. Tell us, what is this?
This is the front door to the residence.
6:45.
This is also the front door of the residence, just a closer image to the door.
When you enter the residence, what is the first area just off to the right of the front door?
That would be the kitchen.
Showing you it's been marked as States 11.
Yes, so this is just inside the door. To the right, there is the kitchen area.
Showing you States 14. What is this a photo of?
So this is the counter with the sink in the kitchen, and there's also the open area just above where you can see into the living room.
Showing you from States Composite, photo 19.
Yes.
What is this?
This is a hutch inside the kitchen. You can see in the background, that is where that first photo of the kitchen was taken. So that's
Welcome, Megan, and I'm glad that some channels are too PC. I do use a PC.
I think
Mo
I
and
do
I
too.
we couldn't be beaten with a rock that's political correct because we have a weird thing that's called foot and mouth disease. That we will any stream we will say something highly inappropriate that we won't figure out so the other one is laughing. But
Pretty much.
don't side shame my chat. Us 181 people here. No, thank you so much for being here. And chat is always nice and friendly, and I like that. And we can have fun even though we are watching bad takes. And now we have to, because Kirk brought up, if we noticed that they hadn't, this bed hadn't been slept in. So let's see if they have a picture of that. And did someone do some blow off this phone? It looks very white.
It looks like it's been
And then
cracked
this
a
is the hutch, and there's a
bajillion
cell phone
times.
on the hutch in the kitchen.
Remember, she doesn't like it.
No,
Showing you States 22.
that's why I don't do it. I don't like the smell of it.
This is the trash can in the kitchen. You can also see the hutch we were just looking at there on the side.
States 23.
This is the contents of the trash can. You can see 2 wine bottles on the top of the trash.
Did you also find receipts in that trash can as well?
You hid those so well, Sarah.
Don't you recycle in the States? Glass goes
Do you
in
think
trash.
Sarah recycles anything except
These are those same wine
oxygen
bottles
into
and 3
CO2?
Publix receipts that were removed from the trash can.
Did you?
Oh, it's fancy.
take
It's
these
got a
items
fork
and
in it.
collect them into evidence in this case?
Yes, I did.
Ooh, it's not even a screw top. I'm impressed. I love how the defense was like, it was just 2 bottles of wine. And the state was like, no, it was like the big gulp of wine. Nice try.
They
Yeah.
called them the Magnum bottles of wine.
Yes, this is just
They had 2 dogs, rescue dogs. One was blind, the other was deaf, or something like that.
in further into that entryway.
So
You
they
can see
got
the living
rescued
room.
into the sweet, loving arms of Sarah. Pray for those dogs.
Well, they wanted to put in that picture where she was sitting because he beat the dogs also. No evidence of it, but let's just say it.
Photo 35 from the composite.
I mean, it
This
works
is
for
another
her to
photo of
somebody
the
like
living room.
me.
You can see the victim located on the floor and a suitcase in the bottom corner of the photograph.
Photo 36.
This is another photograph in the living
Yeah, there was 3 receipts. All of them were for wine, but they must have gotten rid of some of the bottles.
room. This is that wall we saw in the kitchen there with the opening. You can also see a wooden baseball bat leaning against the wall.
Was that baseball bat collected into evidence in this case?
Yes, it was.
Nonya is on fire today.
This is, excuse me. This is also a photograph of the living room, just the other side of the room.
The other side of the room. It can't be the other side because that's the same side. It's the same with people. I did it 360. Why? Then you're going the same direction.
I know I love when people say I did a complete 360. That's not how that works.
This photograph was taken in the living room. You can see the stairs leading to the second floor.
Yeah, it's. But they were cleaning that day to keep George from drinking. Remember that.
Photograph 45.
This is a photograph of the living room just from the other side of the room. You can see the front door in the middle back of the photo.
But you can't do a complete 360. That's a pirouette.
I can barely do a 45 without getting dizzy.
49 from the composite.
This is a more close-up photograph of the suitcase.
Damn, that's small. How could he get in there? He must have
Yeah,
stood
that
on it or
one.
something.
Photo 50.
That's the
This
suitcase
is a photograph
you fit
of
in?
one of the
Wow.
zippers on the suitcase.
That was a
What
small
the-
suitcase.
Photograph 51.
It looks
This is
like
a
an
close-up
overhead bag.
picture of that same zipper. There is no
Oh,
zipper
where's the
pull on it.
paperclip?
It appeared to be a small wire of some sort, the pink wrapped around the zipper.
Thank you so much, Holly Mac, for becoming a member. And Becca Lynn, I told you that.
This is
I
the
said
zipper
you
on the
couldn't
other
mention
side
that.
of the suitcase.
Just correct. That's photograph 52.
It hurts me.
Aw. Well,
Stage 53 from this composite.
The close-up image of that same zipper. There's also no zipper pull on that one.
Why does it look like it's a double zipper?
Photo 54 from the composite.
This is the contents of
one
the
of those
suitcase after
suitcases.
just lifting the lid.
Yeah, me too.
56 from the composite.
More of a close-up image of the items. There were miscellaneous papers and paperwork, some clothing items, and apparent blood inside the suitcase.
What items, what apparent blood was inside the suitcase?
It was observed on the white cap and a necktie, and there was also visible blood just on the interior of the suitcase.
Hmm.
Photo 57 from the composite.
The contents of
thought
the
I'd seen
suitcase,
the
but
name
you can
before,
see
but
the white,
cool, thank you
white
for-
cap more clearly and the blood observed on it.
Yeah, I have one of those expanding suitcases.
You can see the necktie with blood.
I
It
used
appeared to be silver
weird
multicolored.
bags,
And then
so-
there's also a diazepam syringe in the plastic casing there. It was prescribed to the victim.
I didn't hear that there was feces in the suitcase, which normally happens when you die, because all orifices open.
Do you think she gave him the diazepam? Because that would have been a
That is
way to
the-
get him in the suitcase without him fighting.
well, she said it was prescribed to him.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, but it's a downer. He's already on.
yeah,
you
he's
know,
on
he's already been
alcohol.
drinking.
It's isn't it a a date
and it
rape.
would depress his breathing.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
anxiety medication, and it makes you it's a big downer, yeah.
Yeah, so because we're always discussing, because there's no way she could have knocked him unconscious and stuffed him in the back, because your limbs just won't. It's not like playing with Lego. It's the body doesn't move that way. But if he's drunk and she then slips him a roofie, he probably would go along with a heck of a whole lot more. And again, if he's on breath suppressant and he's in a tight environment where his lungs can't expand, that's a cocktail for disaster.
Well, Lewis Thomas is reminding us that it did not show up on his tox report. So
well, so we're just speculating and making
we are
stuff.
just speculating everywhere, as the other lawyer would say, who I need to learn his name because.
Well, she let us know that they had a syringe, so I mean, we're just wondering.
Well, it would be in the toxicology if it's inserted with a syringe. And someone said, why would you give an alcoholic diazepam? It's actually used to treat
withdrawal.
Yeah, withdrawal, because it makes them relax when they cramp up because of the muscle spasms.
Yeah.
Miscellaneous papers and paperwork that was removed from the suitcase.
Photo 62 from the composite.
That's the suitcase after all of the items were removed.
Wouldn't they test for drugs? Wouldn't it show up? Isn't it one of those that pops?
Photo 64 from the composite.
One of the
Yes,
hard
that is what appeared to be some like small pieces of paper that appear to be soaked with blood.
If they weren't looking for it specifically, it might not show up.
Yes.
Maybe.
We don't know if but I'm saying that diazepam is something that you use to treat withdrawal sickness with. I have had cases with alcoholics where they found diazepam and they said, it's if we can't afford to drink, we can pop those and we can just fall asleep. They steal it from if they can get their hands on it, because it'll lower their withdrawals. So diazepam, I've heard about it used in alcohol treatment, both supervised and just to get by if you can't afford alcohol.
Yeah, we don't know how he was prescribed it. I mean, it could have been
Yeah.
Photo 65 from the
It's on a standard thin drug panel.
That is the baseball bat that was leaning against the wall in the living room.
Photo 68 from the composite.
This is back to the stairs to the second floor in the living room.
Photo 69 from the composite.
So it's moving closer to the stairs to the second floor.
I could treat my alcoholism with marzipan.
Photo 70.
Probably me too. I love
Photographing
marzipan.
more of the staircase.
Jamie, not a fan.
Not a fan of what?
Not everyone likes almonds. I'll
I
give
haven't
it.
tried it yet, so
These are the steps leading to the second floor before I proceed up to the second floor.
I never bought any when I said I would. Oops.
Photo 72 from the composite.
Taryn, marzipan is egg
The
white,
upper portion
sugar,
of the stairs
and
leading to the
ground
second floor.
almonds.
Tastes kind of like Dr. Pepper. And we use it a lot in
How
baked
many
goods.
bedrooms were on the second floor of the unit?
There were 2 bedrooms.
Photo 75 from the composite. What is this?
This is the hallway. You can see a closet in the hallway and then the door to one of the bedrooms.
I think that's the son's room.
Child's room.
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
Photo 79 from the composite.
This is a photograph within the child's bedroom.
This is the most flea market home I've ever seen. Everything doesn't match anything else. Something is from the 70s, something is from the 80s, and it's just flea market.
I mean, did you really think that Sarah was going to like do a, at home HGC, like poor people shiplap and chalk wall and all sorts of ridiculousness?
This is the door leading to the other bedroom upstairs.
Oh, let's see if the bed is made in there. Maybe she's just a cleanliness
Did
type.
this other bedroom also contain a bathroom?
Yes, it did.
So she made her bed before she went looking for him.
Photo 90 from the composite.
This is the bed within that bedroom.
Well, it just looks like she tossed the duvet over it, so could have been slipped in, I think.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a bio.
That's why Baker invited me. We all needed, backup in case we needed a bio break and, when we have to run to pick up children.
Exactly.
Photo 97 from the composite.
This is the bathroom.
In that master bedroom upstairs.
Yes.
Did you also have an occasion to photograph the defendant?
Yes, I did.
You see the defendant here in court today.
Yes, I do.
Could you please point to them and identify an article of clothing they're wearing?
She is right there with a black blazer and a pink shirt.
Your Honor, may the record reflect that the witnesses identify the defendant?
Record so reflect.
Showing you photo 98 from the composite.
This is the photograph I took of the defendant.
Why is it that you are photographing the defendant at this point?
I collected her buccal swabs, which is a DNA standard from the inside of the mouth, and it is part of our procedure to photograph that person for identification purposes.
You also document the rest of her body as well at that time.
Yes, I did.
Publishing photograph 101 from State's composite.
This is a photograph of her hands facing upward.
Photograph 102.
This is her right hand facing upward.
I don't see a mark on her.
Photograph 103.
Her left hand facing upward.
But I mean, he's not leaving them up there very long, and it's a very light.
Both of her
Okay, that
hands
Boogie
facing
Nights
downwards with the
mustache
tops
is
of her
going to kill
hands.
me.
Like, what a case to get to sit in on. You know what
This
I
is
mean?
her right hand facing downward.
Photograph 106.
And her left hand facing downward.
Photograph 107.
This would be of her right arm.
Photograph 108.
Her left arm.
Photograph 109.
Her right arm with it facing upward.
Photograph 110.
Her left arm with her arm facing upward.
During the time you were interacting with the defendant, did she ever indicate to you that she had any injuries?
No.
You had previously testified that you also collected physical
How do you think I was off camera while they showed her?
Yes, I did.
He had to contain himself.
I have to keep my hands busy. Idle hands is the devil's tool. Jamie,
Your Honor, may I
that's
approach
from
the witness who has
Deuteronomy.
been marked for identification as state C and shown to defense?
You may.
And Brandon, I just checked my fridge. I do have I remembered to buy beer, and it's Friday, so
Ma'am, I'm assuming it was remarked for identification as
get ready.
state C. Can you take a look at that package for me?
Woohoo!
Every day, Julie, every day.
Yes.
Do you recognize that package?
Yes, I do.
And tell us, what is that package?
These are the 2 wine bottles that were collected from the trash can.
Is your
Well,
name
let's
on
see
that
the
package?
size of those bad
Yes,
boys.
my name is on the Orange County Sheriff's Office evidence label that I filled out, and my initials are on the evidence seal from when I sealed the package.
And it also has your agency case number and the location information for this case.
Yes, that is correct.
Ma'am, could you open the contents of states C and look at it to yourself?
Ooh, crinkle paper ASMR. Well, at least you can get the glove. That is an efficient glove pull on. That actually kind of makes me scared.
The 2 wine bottles, not from the recycling bin. Jenny told you, if you find Sarah's nudes, DM me.
Oh my.
I would need so much therapy after that.
Just that
No.
tacky loose skin.
Ugh.
What did you
I'd
call
go
it?
into a I'd go into a fugue
Tacky
state.
loose skin. That's what I call
Okay,
it.
saggy loose.
I have to pull them out to recognize the item. They're
Things that make you go. "Ugh."
How's the view from?
Yeah, to get that boner down. I think they just penciled in 3 weeks for the case, so they I think the judge believed it will take longer to see the jury.
What is the contents of state C?
These are the 2 wine bottles that I collected from the trash can.
Are these wine bottles in the same or substantially the same condition as they were at the time that you packaged them on February 24th, 2020?
Yes, the same time I collected them that day.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to move what's previously been marked for identification as states C into evidence.
Any objections?
No objection.
What was pre-marked as state C will be received into evidence as states 9 without objection.
And Your Honor, request permission to publish.
You may do so.
You can unwrap it now.
Oh, this is a good visual.
You can put it back.
Yes, and again, 3 weeks is just a time frame. We saw that with the not Richard Nixon, Quinton Nixon case. They had 2.5 days set off, and we have spent 5 days on it, and it's further delayed.
Did you also have occasion to collect the baseball bat from the living room?
Yes, I did.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness who has been previously marked for identification as states B and shown to defense?
You may.
Ma'am, I'm showing you who's been marked for identification as states B. Can you take a look at this item?
I've never seen bottles that big unless it's one of those 3 liters you buy for your 18th birthday at a,
Yes, I
at a
do.
club.
This is the wooden baseball bat I
Those
collected
are
from the
called
living room.
spring and summer
item have
break
your name on it?
break bottles.
Yes, it has my name on the Orange County Sheriff's Office evidence label that I filled out, as well as my
Get
initials
Mama's
on the
special
evidence
long
seal.
straw.
And it also has your initials and your agency case number as well.
Yes, it does.
Ma'am, could you open States B and look at the contents of it to yourself without displaying it to the court?
Yes.
Maybe. I think he'll come down with illness and have to withdraw from the case before he starts his part of the defense. But who would buy Woodbridge for a reception? You know that wedding will end up in a fight somewhere in the parking lot.
Baker, how else do you get people of my complexion to do anything more than the chicken dance and the Cupid shuffle? The answer is booze. We don't do it well. We're not on rhythm, but we know we look good doing it, or at least the wine tells us so.
Yeah, it's that one when you think, John Travolta, you ain't got hips like me, and then you see the tape the next day and think, is that whales mating on the floor?
What is contained within States B?
The wooden baseball bat.
And is that bat in the same or substantially the same condition as it was at the time that you collected it on February 24, 2020?
Yes, it is.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to move what's previously been marked for identification as States B into evidence.
Any objection?
No objection.
What was pre-marked as B will be received into evidence as States 10 without objection.
Thank you so much, She's Like Texas. 10 Broken Baker memberships to Melissa Crawford, Esprit Fleck, Swifty, Hannah D, Megan, Spacey Stacy, Nicola Maxwell, Opal Gypsy, Charlene T, Press Daddy Cannon. Thank you so much. You are so kind. Oh, it's an original Louisville Slugger.
You also had an occasion to collect the suitcase as well in this case.
Yes, I did.
Prior to placing the suitcase into evidence,
And don't go to my
did you
OnlyFans.
process it?
I took measurements of the suitcase.
What are the measurements of the suitcase?
It was 28 inches in length, 20 inches wide, and 8 7/8 inches deep.
And he was 63
Your Honor,
inches
I'm
long.
seeing the witness step down from the stand and approach the clerk's area.
Yes.
Ma'am, I'm showing you what's been marked for
It is.
identification as States A. Tell me, do you recognize this item? Tell us, what is this item?
This is the suitcase I collected from the living room.
And how is it that you know that this is a suitcase you collected from the living room?
It has the Orange County Sheriff's Office evidence label that I labeled with the item description. It also contains my name and the agency.
Yes.
And my initials are also on the evidence sheet.
Ma'am, at this time, could you open States A and look at the contents of it to yourself?
Have a wonderful evening, Celestial. No, because you can't stuff someone in there. But I'm thinking he probably tried to get in there because they were drunk and tried to be fun. But to close it, she must have been lying on top on it.
Yeah, I think it was much more violent to get him in there than how she's making, it seem like it was all fun and games. No, I think it was a knockdown drag out. kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I still don't think the defense can say, oh, well, he was so much stronger than her. Probably when he wasn't inebriated.
Yeah, they had some kind of dare, or hey, my son can get in there. Can you get in there, or something like that? And when he was in there, she probably said, "Let's see if I can close it." And then she must have laid on, kind of like when I pack my suitcase, I sit on it, something like that, because he would be too wide, only 8 inches wide. I don't know how much 8 inches is in real numbers, but isn't like something like 25 centimeters or something like that?
You have your tape measure.
That sounds right, but I don't know. I do girl measurements and they're always wrong.
Yeah.
I
And
thought I
measure
was
with my
buying a little
hands,
diamond kit.
like in my fingers. It's this big.
No, it's
Yeah.
it's 20 centimeters, so it's this wide. It's a little bigger than my head, and I have a slightly above average size dome, but 20 centimeters. Something tells me that you would need force to close the lid on that suitcase. I don't know.
I think it's a double-edged sword for her to show a lot of emotion. It's just like Karen Reed, if she didn't, cry, then she was a monster. If she did cry, then she's, trying to be the victim. So as much as I don't like to stand up for Sarah, I think she is in a no-win situation here.
So 71 centimeters long.
What is inside of
That's-
States A?
This is the suitcase.
That's roughly my torso.
And does it appear to be in the same or substantially the same
And
condition
50 centimeters.
at the time that you collected it and placed it into evidence?
Again, 50 centimeters, that's
All right,
less
this time
than
I'd
my
like to
shoulder
move the
width.
marker identification as States A into evidence.
Any objections?
No objection.
What was pre-marked as A will be received into evidence without objection as States 11.
Your Honor, at this time I ask for permission to publish States A to the jury.
You may.
The suitcase.
Mo, you must have a 105-pound, 5 foot tall, too tall kid running around somewhere in your house.
Baker, what is Mo's number one goal as a mother? To not be taken to CPS
Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry.
and not go to the emergency room. Those are the two goals.
Yes, 8 inches wide. I'm thinking from bottom to top. That's the depth. Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying. If it's that wide, where's the rest of his body when he's lying down? That's the one I don't get.
Well, she just pulled it out and it kind of looks bigger now than I thought.
Can you open the inside of it?
Thank you, Jamie. I needed to hear that.
Oh my God.
It's still incredibly tiny. He would be so
Oh yeah,
scrunched in there.
I mean, it still is.
It's
But it looks, every time I say something, I have to be, it looks fatter than I thought.
It does look, that suitcase is thick. Okay.
Thick. Thicker. But it's like tiny width-wise.
This is where it hits, we try to be jovial and everything else.
Like he really had to squeeze in there.
But it's just incredibly sad. And I know that his family's having to watch this, and I can't imagine.
How easy is it to operate the zipper that closes the suitcase?
It was a little difficult.
Yeah. That's why I don't think
I have no additional questions.
she put him in there. I think he got in there himself, but she
Any cross-examination?
definitely closed it up.
This is I think that's the same size suitcase I have here. This is a normal travel size suitcase. This is how deep it is. I don't know if you can hear me. Blink twice if you can hear me.
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay,
Yes.
it's just because, but it's
I'll
roughly
raise
this
my
size. That's not that big, and again, it's the height of my torso.
Yeah.
You have to push him down to get in here, but I think maybe it's like the same as I have here, where you have the expandable.
Well, that's
So
what
you
I was
get the-
wondering.
Forgot my tape measure. I normally have 2, but still, it gives you what, 3 inches extra, but still, it's nothing. I know I'm a bit bigger than him, but I'm around 5'10", 5'11". I couldn't fit in here. So unless he's a contortionist, I can't see how this is possible.
Well, yeah.
She must have
He
been on
was-
top of him, forcing it shut.
Well, the
he
way
was a
his knees
skinny
had to be
man.
so close to his chest, I mean, he would have started feeling it would be incredibly difficult to breathe from the get-go. And we don't know how long after she had put him in there that he started complaining, because she's very vague on time, because, that's how you sound when I'm solely sober.
I mean, like, it would have been probably fine to get in it, but then to stay in that position for that period of no. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, okay, get in it and like, okay, haha, let me out now because this hurts. Like, I imagine that's what happened. You know? I don't know.
Being that skinny can probably bend pretty good. Well, I could never get my fat ass in there because I have no mobility, but still, you would have to be in a very, very curled up fetal position, and
Yeah.
it'll be so tight that the asphyxiation is just because your lungs can't exchange.
Do you still have your wooden guy? Because you could show how curled up he would have to be.
Sadly, he isn't even limber enough to do it.
Oh, yeah.
He's not even limber enough.
Art guy is not limber enough. I was just thinking it would give a visual, since we're all ADHD visual learners.
What was his name again?
Bender.
Bender. Okay. Yeah, Bender's not very flexible.
I
No,
can't
but
see how you
that-
can. It would have to
He had
be
to have his
something.
head down too. Like, he had to have his head to his chest, I would think.
And
Yeah.
you can't expand your lungs when you're that curled up. You put pressure on your diaphragm. You're not getting deep breaths. You're getting shallow breaths, which again would feel like you're suffocating.
Yeah, because you can't exchange the the oxygen in your blood, or the oxygen, but the CO2 can't get out of it there.
And he's a
sounds like my
smoker.
needs.
I mean, so it would not have taken him long to start really suffering, really,
Panicking.
probably panicking, breathing faster. And then you have to think, okay, he's trying to get out, and she's beating his hands with a bat because she is so terrified or angry, depending on which thing she's going to say today.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Yep.
His hands would be tucked in his stomach, knees to chin, feet pushed up to butt, and yes, head tucked down, something like that. I can't even. I'm trying to paint to draw it one day, and I can't even see how it could fit.
Hopefully they'll
Maybe
have
I
like
can
a
ask. Maybe I can ask Chat GPT if they can make a render of it.
Good afternoon.
That'll probably be against
Are you also referred to as a medical
terms of
examiner
service.
investigator as opposed to just crime scene investigator?
No, that is not my title.
Do you do reports that the crime or that the medical examiner necessarily relies upon in the process of doing the autopsy and additional investigations?
You would have to ask them.
Who makes the decision at the scene as to what items will be photographed and what items will be taken into custody, what items will necessarily be tested or analyzed?
That's a collaborative effort between the crime scene investigator and the lead detective while on scene.
That would be yourself, and who was the lead detective?
The lead detective was Chelsea Kepsel.
Now, you authored a report in this matter, did you not?
Yes.
And that report was utilized, if you in fact know, by the medical examiner in developing her autopsy report, was it not?
I do not know.
In your report, did you advise the medical or whomever might read your report that in fact the body had been removed from the suitcase by first offenders or first responders?
No, I don't believe so.
And we know that you have capacity to do DNA analysis, correct?
No, we process DNA or collect swabs for DNA, and then that's submitted to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement.
ChatGPT says a person who is 5'3", about 160 centimeter, would likely not be able to fit comfortably in a standard suitcase. Most suitcases are designed for clothing and other items, not for the dimensions of a human body. Standard length large suitcases typically have a length around 28 to 32 inches, 71 to 81 centimeters. Actually, then mine is 10 centimeters shorter, which is much smaller than the height of a 5'3" person. Even with the body curled up, it would be extremely cramped, uncomfortable, and unsafe. Attempting to fit a person in a suitcase, especially for long periods, can also pose serious health risks, including difficulty breathing and circulation issue.
So ChatGPT knew not to put someone in the suitcase. Sarah Boone, 0. Gotcha.
Meant for conventional DNA analysis.
So you did that with a sample from the inside of Sarah Boone's mouth.
Her buccal swabs were submitted to the FDLE.
And who made that decision?
The detective and I.
Who made the decision not to bother to do a DNA analysis on the blood from the items within the suitcase or the suitcase itself?
That was a discussion between the detective and I.
And chose not to do that?
No, we did not.
You assumed the blood inside the suitcase belonged to George Torres, correct?
There was blood observed in the suitcase.
But you don't know who that belonged to because you didn't bother to analyze it or have it analyzed, correct?
The blood was not tested.
Now, State's Exhibit B, the bat. You took that into evidence. Was that again a collaborative decision by yourself and the lead detective?
Yes.
And what efforts did you make to have the bat analyzed, given the fact that it was apparently evidence?
It was just collected as evidence from the scene.
Did you advise either the lead detective or anybody else involved with this investigation that there may be matters that could be analyzed when analyzing the bat that would help or assist in the investigation of this matter?
It's my job to do the documentation and the collection of evidence.
Well, you said it was a collaborative effort between yourself and the lead detective, so did you participate in that decision?
We chose to collect the bat and put it into evidence.
And so there was a fiber analysis done on the bat to determine whether or not it was used to strike George Torres when he was in the suitcase. Was there not?
Pardon?
In fact, there was not, was it? There was no effort to analyze the bat.
Jack, I don't believe the witness.
I just have to. I ask AI to make a picture of a 5'3" person in a standard size suitcase. I wished it was like this.
This attorney is pissing me off more than Owens. He is being aggressive. There's a way to do this. You can say, did you guys test the blood? No. He's like, well, you can't handle the truth.
What is that?
That's how AI imagines. But
Where's this guy's legs?
yeah, that's the big problem, because where should his
He
legs
looks like
be?
he's in one of those baby backpack things.
Yeah.
But they got it right. Where the F is the legs gonna be? Well, never mind.
That is a that's a overlay right there.
I have to do this, and 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 hopefully it didn't cut the audio.
Sustain.
I'm sorry. Please.
Can you repeat the question?
If I can remember it, I will. Do
Oh,
you
you're too
know
busy being
that
an
there was any
ass.
effort made in this particular situation
Oh,
of Sarah Boone to analyze that for fibers?
No, there was not.
And why was that not done?
It was not done.
You indicated that you had some interaction with Ms. Boone. Is that correct?
I collected her buccal swabs.
Did you speak with her?
In collecting her buccal swabs, yes.
Did you speak to any other witnesses?
No.
Did you make any determination of other matters that might be of import or evidentiary value when you were going through the house and taking photographs and documenting the interior of the townhouse?
You'll have to be more specific.
Well, how many pictures of the child's bedroom did we see?
Here today,
Yes, ma'am.
we saw the entrance to the bedroom as well as a photograph of the interior of the bedroom.
What was the evidentiary value of that?
This is probably a very good rendition.
That's kind of what I was picturing he would have to do.
Yeah.
And you are not going to be able to fully expand your lungs. You're not going to be able to,
No, and
get
you
any
can't.
sort
The
of
blood
relief.
can't circulate in your system because everything is cramped up.
Yeah.
So
And defense, I give you an A for effort, a D for denied, and an F for FU, because fiber analysis, the woman confessed to hitting him with a bat. There's not going to be fiber transfers on a smooth,
Well,
waxed bat. Give me a break.
but at this point, she hadn't said that, did she? Because all they knew at that point was that they were playing hide and seek, and what happened. So you know what I mean? Like you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like so,
and
what are they
and
going to
she
be
has
going
to
into
get
like full investigation mode if she's saying this is what happened and they knew she was there and did it?
Yeah, and
yeah.
not only that, but they need to take a picture of the child's room. They need to give a full layout of the house. It was not to invade Lucas's privacy because Mom of the Year is a mama bear. It was to give a full layout of the house, you absolute dingleberries.
Brandon had me convinced. That's why she rolled it down the stairs when the zipper got stuck right before she had that stroke and passed out. Not guilty. Brandon always convinces me on Fridays.
That makes
Brandon's a wise
sense.
man. Wise man.
My job to photograph and document while on scene. So the rooms in the upstairs were photographed and documented.
Did you photograph holes in the wall, possibly made by the victim?
Possibly
I
made
don't recall
by
photographing
defendant.
holes in the wall now.
Did you take photographs of items within the house or throughout the house that may have depicted incidents of prior violence?
She didn't tell them
No.
they were fighting. She didn't say anything about abuse.
Yeah,
You are now ruining your future case because you want evidence of prior acts that Sarah never told anyone until Sarah already was in prison. She didn't come forward to the detectives and said, "Well, he treated me like a piñata. He punched the walls."
Also, Baker, I mean, they didn't have her phone downloaded, so they wouldn't have seen the pictures or the video that she took of him taking out the TV. So they might have just thought, okay, they broke the TV. Hell, they say they play, freaking hide and seek. Maybe they're playing Frisbee in the house too. I mean, it would not be the first thing. And, they have a finite amount of time. They can't, take pictures of everything. They can't CSI and DNA test everything. So they take what they think is going to be important. They probably downloaded the phone, went back and, maybe took a couple more pieces of evidence, but they're not going to, forensically check the entire house. Again,
No,
we have
because
the video.
And again, how many people die every day in Florida? We hear in so many cases they can send 5 pieces of evidence to the lab to get checked. So, but again, it's just stupid because he is trying to say she didn't do her job well enough because They didn't check for evidence they weren't told were there. It's not like in the Rudolph case. Did you go look for the guns? No, no one told us to. That's a totally different scenario.
Well, bloody pillowcases. Did you make any effort to collect and analyze pillowcases of the rooms that you were photographing?
No.
But
you have significant experience with zippers?
I use zippers regularly, yes.
Enough to have
I'm
an
Amish.
opinion
No,
as to
they're
whether or not
evil.
the zippers.
Only buttons. I only like buttons.
Is what? Sorry?
You testified on direct that the zipper was a little tight.
Just that it was difficult without the zipper pulls to use the zipper.
And that was your opinion.
How dare you, blasphemer?
Yes, from opening the suitcase here today.
Today, you only tested it today?
Pardon?
You only today have for the first time tested the ability to pull open the zipper on the suitcase?
No, I'm saying it was difficult today.
Oh my Jeebus.
You read
I'm going to
examination.
lose my mind.
you know, I'm going to try to get into that suitcase later.
In this case, you documented the entirety of the house as you saw it.
Yes.
So every room in the house,
They were all taken overall photographs.
walls in the house.
In the overall photographs, yes. They weren't all individually photographed, no.
And you did not document or note any type of holes in the wall or any type of damage to the walls, anything like that.
Not the walls, no.
Is that something that would have been documented both photographically and also within your report?
Yes.
You also, as we've previously seen in the composite, saw the victim where he was laying in this case, correct?
Yes.
Was the victim, did he have blood on his mouth and on his face?
Yes, he did.
Did he have open wounds on his body?
There was blood coming from his nose and his mouth. There was also some other areas, like defects noted on his body.
You also made contact with the defendant too, as well.
Yes.
Did you note any other wounds or cuts or anything else that was not documented that you haven't testified to?
No.
So no wounds, nothing on her.
Not that I recall, no.
No further questions.
Thank you. Can this witness be released?
Yes, Your Honor.
Drones, can this witness be released?
Judge, we'd like her to be on call.
Subject to recall.
Oh my
ma'am.
God.
Thank you.
Ronco's
They're gonna be-
assessment of all these recalls is because they are hoping they can run fully with the battered
Party
life
exposure.
syndrome.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. They just want to keep everybody on standby.
Yeah, so they can come back and say, "Oh, you didn't do your job," and she was being so ill-treated by him.
Yeah.
Is Owens drinking a Celsius? Because I love those. And if he drinks them, I can't drink them now. I don't want to
Yeah,
get
that's exactly
second
what it
degree
is.
transitive property a-holeness.
They're really good.
Members of the jury, thank you so much for your attention in this matter.
I
It is
know.
4:52. At this time, we're going to go ahead and take our recess for the evening. Madam Clerk has letters that I have signed regarding your jury service for you to provide to your employer.
Cool.
Court deputy will provide them to you in the deliberation room before you are released for the day. I have a similar instruction to read to you that I gave you before the lunch hour. Jurors, you must not conduct any investigation on your own. This includes reading newspapers, watching television, or using a computer, cell phone, the internet, any electronic device, or any other means at all to get information related to this case or the people and places involved in this case. This applies whether you are in the courthouse, at home, or anywhere else. You must not visit places mentioned in the trial or use the internet to look at maps or pictures to see any place discussed during the trial. Jurors, do not watch local news or read local newspapers. Jurors must not have discussions of any sort with friends, family members, or even your fellow jurors about the case or the people and places involved. So do not let anyone make comments to you or ask questions about the trial. I want to stress again that just as you must not talk about this case face-to-face, you must not talk about this case by using an electronic device. You must not use phones, computers, or other electronic devices to communicate. Do not send or accept any messages related to this case or your jury service. Do not discuss this case or ask for advice by any means at all, including posting information on an internet website, chat room, or blog. With that, members of the jury, I'm going to release you back to the deliberation room for you to receive the paperwork for your employer, and we will see you at 9 a.m. this coming Monday, October 21st. I thank you for your sacrifice and your service.
So you're doing a Valhalla, spilling half of it onto the floor. Well,
I'm not going to be drinking all of this, but it is a Korean wine.
You all may be seated. Thank you.
Because I'm classy.
Steve, anything else we need to discuss?
cheers.
Defense.
Happy
All right,
Friday.
thank you all very much. We will see you at 9 a.m.
First
Monday,
day,
October 21. We're off
it
the
is
record.
a disaster. As Ronkel just called it, because I asked him on a scale from one to Brooks, how well is the defense doing? He's saying the problem is that it doesn't matter. You can't really evaluate pilot quality when the plane has been hit by a missile and all of the controls are dead, and the plane is headed towards a mountain. That mountain is made of explosive bees. Cheers, Ronkel. You are a wordsmith.
Yes, Fedorowski, it is soju, apple mango, and very strong. So I will be cutting this with Diet Sprite and probably have it for a week and a half.
Not trying to blank my pants. Come rub my tummy, I'll do the other half. Valhalla did that to me as well. I'm not falling for it one more time. Yeah, that must be the worst part. Oh, that's the investigator, right? That she sent the googly eyes at.
Yeah. Oh no, who is she yelling at now? They didn't even test the blood. This is a conspiracy. I'm like OJ.
I told you that if you go back and look at the holes in the walls, you could see his fist imprint from when he slammed into it.
Oh no, she wants to speak to the manager, and the detective is like, or the bailiff is like, no.
Yeah, get
And
up.
Sarah's
We're gonna
like,
get you in irons. But I need to talk to my lawyer. I need to tell him our strategy. That's why you married her, so you can claim spousal privilege. Hey, I'm not a wacko. I'm just special. My mom told me.
what is the state telling them? I'm so nosy. I want all of this. I'm like, how dare they cut the sound?
Yeah, I want to hear that. Hey, you guys, can we get that, please? If we knock her unconscious and just signs the paper with an X, we don't have to show up Monday, maybe, and she get 20 years.
Exactly.
Brendan, have you tried withholding smacks? Your wife would have. I know she would have told. It works on men all the time, so I'm sure it works the other way around too.
Exactly, Sue. No, see, anyway.
Genitals, I wish we could sentence Sarah to the exact same fate as Jorge, but unfortunately, she's just going to be the guest of the state of Florida, and the taxpayers get to pay for her to smuggle cheese and whatever.
Yep. Well.
Oof. That's coming back. Breakfast must suck. She refuses it every day. Oh, not almost every day, but she also refuses showering in the morning. So,
And listening to directions and following the rules.
and using racial slurs against black
She
people.
is going to get her behind whooped in prison. I mean, I don't want her to, because I don't want anyone to get hurt, but she is going to earn that initiation party with her attitude.
She's gonna, yeah, I hope inmate Pena can protect her, because she must be in for a bad time. But first day, 10 witnesses, which to me is pretty good. Monday we'll go again, 9 a.m. If I can get the divorce letters, I'll do a stream over the weekend. If not, probably do something, but no stabulate tomorrow because I will be at the strongman competition. Mo, tomorrow you will be doing
Legal Shenanigans Theater. We will be doing a bit of a palate cleanser because Daryl Brooks is a whole heck of a lot. So we will be looking at the state's opening and then some of the more awesome stare down death looks of witnesses. So we will, sprinkle Daryl Brooks in, but we definitely need a palate cleanser after 3 episodes of him doing his non-fession. And I'm a good man. I know all the Bible.
I see what you're doing. I know what you're doing. Trent set me up.
I'm on to you guys.
And how many pages was the inmate notes? I can't tell you because a lot of it was got razor, gay back razor, got computer. So I would say good parts of the inmate notes, 2 pages. The rest of it was just, she was an asshole.
Pretty much.
We are past 3 hours, so I don't have to add to the swear jar. I'm tired. I was up streaming at 5:30 this morning. I need to get to bed because tonight, hopefully, if I get out of bed in time, at 9 p.m., the expert will have his Friday night live. That's where I normally hang out Friday nights. And it's a whole heap of fun panel show where we just take the crap out of everything. I'm going to redirect all of you over there. So if you're not already following him, please stop by. Try giving it a chance. It's a weird show. It's all the squirrels that runs in all the different directions that you can possibly have. You might hear things there on that show that would make even Mo and I think. But I will be joining that if I get up at 5 a.m. again tomorrow. I'll be joining that show. Other than that, I'll probably find some spot on the weekend to talk about something stupid. If someone smuggled 50 guinea pigs. I read something about a man who put, I think, 10 hard-boiled eggs in the prison pocket.
No.
I don't know. Don't listen to
I
me.
mean, I guess 1 just seemed like not enough and 10 was a record. I mean,
When you're on a
what's
roll,
going on here?
it's like being at the casino. If you're up, just keep going.
You just wonder if, like, are you disgusted or impressed?
Yeah,
Danny,
I
of course,
really am confused.
Danny has, 15. 15. Thank you all so much for all the super chats, all the likes, all the subscribes, all the YouTube things. You are more than kind to both of us. Please, if you haven't already, swing by Mo's. We are trying to get her to 4,000 subscribers. Go give her a little love. She does so much just to hide from her kids. But
And laundry. Laundry is important. I am hiding actively from rotating the laundry.
Also, if you're any new members, need to join the
Oh.
discourse. We have a lot of fun in there, and we have a lot of stuff going on over the weekends. So
members, there's a link to the Discord in the members chat. Tomorrow at 4 p.m., Jemima will be doing her craft and chat, which means it's a bunch of women yapping. There's not much craft going on. It's just talking about how stupid I am, but I made a Discord they can yap in.
Yeah.
And I'm in every one of them. Enjoy your weekend. Movie nights on Discord on Sunday as well. Jamie, the movie on Sunday will be
Sleepy Hollow.
Sleepy Hollow. Which is a weird place because a little perk in your step. Don't get that.
What exhibit are you referring to?
I'm going to make this 100, Your Honor.
All right.
100.
100.
Because it is 100%
100%.
correct.
Objection, Your Honor.
So you literally built a cannon?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
All right, I'm in love.
Go back. Please do that again. Oh, that was the cutest thing I've ever seen.
While I'm waiting for this, did you, whether it's true or not, believe that Mr. Randolph had slept with your wife?
I wouldn't care.
You wouldn't have cared?
No,
Did you believe he had slept with your wife?
no,
Did you believe he slept with your mother-in-law?
probably did. Everybody has.